Welcome to the first ever episode of Very Vehicular. It's a show about cars with a mixed formula. We're going to try something different. It might just be me. It might be me and two others. It might be me and three others. You never know what you're going to get. This is going to be the test form for a lot of other things we do moving forward. If you don't know much about me, a quick little background. I started in the print industry. I ran a magazine called 0 to 60. I also did a magazine called Rides and Donk Bucks and Bubble, for those who know. Towards the end of my stint in magazines, I met a guy from the skateboard world named Ken Block. We did these videos. You might have seen them. And then we started this small little company called Hoonigan. And today's guest you probably know best from that little company. Ron Zaras and Vin Anatra are here, the Ballast Boys reunited. If you watched our content on Hoonigan, you'll know that I got into a lot of crazy adventures with these two boys. First up is Ron Zaras, worked with me at 0 to 60 magazine back in the day. He was my intern. He then came with me to work on Ken Block's team when it was still Monster World Rally. He spent a long time there and then eventually joined me at Hoonigan. Ron, aside from now being a Pikes Peak record holder, is starting a new rally company. Plenty of that to dive into. Second guest, Vin, was actually a guy who I met way back in the day when I was running a Volkswagen Audi car club called Autokrieg, had events. He was a little BMX kid who would come out to the events. Eventually, there was an opportunity for him to come join Hoonigan, and he became one of the big personalities at the brand on camera. And I couldn't think of two better people to help kick this off, mostly because we are completely unfiltered and honest with each other. A lot of great attitude and chemistry with this bunch. We get into a lot of really fun topics. And if you want even more, we have a Patreon for that too. So go check it out. So let's get into it. But first, a word from our partners. And hold on, before you scrub ahead, these are the good partners. These are people who have supported me through multiple chapters of my life. And they're one of us. They're car guys. They're good brands. So take a listen. All right, folks, so this first season of Very Vehicular is brought to you by our good friends at Vyper Industrial. I met them a couple years ago after I saw the first shop stool that they made, and I looked at this thing and I said, man, this thing is robust. If you don't know already, I am an extra large human being, and I've had more embarrassing falls off cheaply made shop stools than I care to admit. But anyway, this thing's great. No cheap casters, no metal that flexes. It's a lifetime warranty, made in the USA. They also make carts, they make fans, and the one thing that they're going to be making special and custom for us is the actual podcast chairs we'll be using in this studio, hopefully in a couple episodes. So thanks again, Vyper Industrial, for making this first season happen. We're happy to have you guys aboard. All right, here's a little secret. The first project car of my professional career dates all the way back to 2004, and it still doesn't run. But that has nothing to do with the tires that are on it. You see, Toyo Tires was the first sponsor I ever had in anything I did all the way back to 0 to 60. They're on all of my cars. I use their tires for everything, and I love them. They're great. So whether you need a tire for your track car, your daily, or your off-road truck, Toyo's got you covered. They have for me for, 20 plus years. Unlike a lot of the other guys I've worked with, not a big fan of safety squints. And when I found out that Heatwave actually makes safety glasses that look cool, I started wearing them. These things are great. They make them in a lot of different frames. And one of the things I like too, because I have a big head, they make them in extra large sizes, for the big brain folks. They have partnered with some of my favorite drivers, from Darren Parsons and Blake Wilkie to Travis Pastrana. Go give them a look if you haven't heard about them before. And if you already have, keep rocking them. Great guys, great company. All right, boys, welcome to Very Vehicular. I'm so happy that we can start this off with the OG Ballast crew.
Man, we're honored.
I mean, we really?
Yeah, you cleaned your garage for us.
I kind of actually thought that you guys would be the only people who would have the patience to deal with the bullshit it would take to come and record an episode. No, but
zero.
You have zero patience. You literally have zero chill, but you tolerate me for whatever reason.
Yeah. I think the problem is that most guests that will come on, a lot of them don't know what they're getting into. Yeah. Right. So they go in, they're excited. They're like, oh, I'm going to do a podcast with Scotto. And then hour 7, they're like, Oh god,
He's
like
only-
the asbestos starts raining down from the popcorn. Like
He's
and
only on the postcard 1.
index card 1
Index
flips
card.
around on hour 3. Meanwhile, like we go into this knowing, but you know,
It's the knowing, because I do think that to somehow a good percentage of the automotive population, I present as like a functioning human being.
Yeah.
But you guys know that I'm not.
but it's okay because none of us are. So that's how we commiserate.
Yeah. So what's new? Because we're gonna pretend like we don't talk to each other every day. Because do you guys get this? Do you guys get like from whatever you want to call them, the audience? I always think it's weird to call people fans, but like, you know, from the viewers, do you get people being like, "Man, do you still see Scotto? Do you still like? Do you get that?" Because people all the time are like, "Do you still see Vin? Do you still see Ron?" I'm like, they live in the same neighborhood as me.
See, I don't think I get that because of YouTube. Like, you guys are on the channel enough, which isn't even that often. But, you know, to the audience, like, they see us
They're
do an
like,
episode
"Oh, you guys
together,
hang out."
or
Yeah.
Ron in an episode, and they're like, "Oh yeah, things are just normal."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I haven't seen Brian since that episode, which was like 3 months ago. But
Oh, no
The
way.
world according to YouTube.
yeah,
The only reason I saw Brian anytime in the last couple weeks. Do you?
this was
No,
precious.
go ahead. Go
This
ahead.
was-
Just out me. We're not even 2 minutes in. Just
This
go
was so
ahead.
precious. Peak male companionship.
I don't want to look. Okay, it happens to all of us. It happens to me. You know, something happened with the Rabbit. You know, it's an older car. Things happen. So Scotto hits up the group chat on a text, and he's like, "Hey, can anyone give me a tow?" And out of town. Tony's like, "I'm in Seattle." Not that Tony was going to show up
Nah,
anyway.
yeah.
You were doing some stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, I got the GX. You know, I'm gonna go buy a tow rope. Why not have an excuse?" And then next thing I know,
Let's also be honest. You need a side quest. It was the middle of the day.
Absolutely.
You probably were sitting in front of a computer for 6 hours.
I was procrastinating on
Strongly
something.
need
And
a
Honestly,
side
that's
quest.
that's like a you just ate lunch, you're bored.
yeah.
Like, it's either sit on your computer or like go do this random mission. It's kind of sick.
100%.
And it's within the bubble. It's like, you know, there could only be max 15 minutes of traffic to get to Brian's house. So it's not like,
That's
it's
true.
not a big mission. It's a little snackable mission.
You think it's not a big mission because it's like, oh, okay, the car's only a couple blocks from Brian's house. Easy. I show up, I hook up the tow rope, bring him to his house. Done. We have a nice little conversation.
Yeah.
Maybe a coffee. No, absolutely not. I show up and I pull up with the rope, ready to go, D-rings ready, everything. And then we start looking at it and it's like, oh, there's no tow point.
Yeah, I
There's
put
no
Euro
attachment
bumpers
point.
on. They don't have a tow hook. Because like tow hooks aren't cool to Volkswagen guys.
Yeah,
Like that's
no.
something
You gotta
can-
shave it.
You gotta shave
So
the tow
that
hook.
I don't know if you ever get this feeling, but when you hang out with Brian, there's this like feeling that you get sometimes where you know you're at the beginning of an adventure that you didn't necessarily sign up for. So because we couldn't find a tow point because it had a Euro bumper, he's like, well, we might as well just try and fix it.
You know what you just got yourself into at that moment?
At that very
You know what that is?
moment.
A yo text. You got yourself into,
You got yo'd.
for you guys out there that don't know,
Yeah.
the start of what could be a multiple hour conversation
Yeah.
starts with 2 things from Brian. And it's yo, nothing else, no punctuation.
0.
Or do you have a minute?
Do you have a minute? Do you have a minute can be like a random idea or a life career changing opportunity.
A minute in what universe? Like, in some other far distant galaxy, the time slows down so much that is a Brian Scotto minute.
I don't know if he does this to you though, because sometimes he'll be like, yo, do you have an honest 10?
Yeah.
Honest 10.
Which is the most
always
dishonest thing
ends
ever.
up being a 45.
Because Brian, we every time we talk, we have like a cool down process that's like a 90s turbo timer. You know? like we're getting off the phone and you have so many of the like, all right, well,
Oh, dude, yes.
you know.
Yeah. It's sitting there idling. You're dead.
And like, I don't know what's cooling down. Everything is ambient.
Right.
The turbo's chill, but you're still like,
you didn't even do a poll. You didn't even do a poll, but you got to cool down.
So anyway, you get there.
The
There's
car-
no tow hook
The car's
provision.
just straight up not working. There's no tow hook provision. We go to AutoZone. We try and get a bunch of stuff. Nothing's working. So I'm like, why don't we just push it? Like it's light. It's light enough. So the next thing I know, Scotto and I are, in our, I'm in my late 30s. You're in
I'm
your
in my mid 40s.
two dudes just pushing a car,
having a
down a road,
conversation,
having
just
a
chatting,
conversation.
just taking the car for a walk.
Just
That's
taking
kind
the
of sick.
car.
Taking
It
your
was
car for a
kinda
walk
sick.
is nice.
It was a really nice
It
day.
was nice, and it has like very little resistance. So we were just walking with our hands on
We were
it.
pretty surprised.
Yeah.
And like you get juiced because you're like, oh, the car pushes super easy. Oh, we got this.
And like taking your car for a walk is a pretty nice thing because I think like for guys, like there's like a big hurdle in hanging out. You know, like guys need something to do.
Yeah.
Because like if we were just to sit around like this right here, right,
Yeah.
we're literally doing nothing, but we're making content.
But it's a
And
mission.
if we were just hanging out talking, like there's super high risk of like just like making out or something.
True. You
know?
never know.
Yeah.
Like if we're just
yeah,
doing
yeah.
nothing,
But if you have a car between you, it makes it a little bit.
you're like, oh,
harder.
now
for
we're just
sure.
like we're pushing a
It's
car.
the
We're
barrier.
taking-
Yeah, that's
It's
why
the
there's a
makeout
table
barrier.
on this.
Yeah, we're
podcast.
taking a car
That's why-
for a walk.
That's why I
Yeah.
put the table here.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
So you took your car for a walk.
So we took a car for a walk.
It was sweet. It was
Okay.
a stroll.
Now this is the question everyone out there wants to know. Did you fix it?
No, actually,
Of course not.
no. But I've been on like a pretty good run of like my cars running.
Yeah, tell us about it.
No, come on. I have been recently, and
You've also been on the most
You just
Scotto-
told me the church van
Well,
doesn't
in
broke.
in
Yeah, you
one
told me
week,
that too.
in 1 week, 3 cars stopped working. So the alternator went on the Mexican B150. I think the coil pack or the coil went on the Rabbit, and I have no idea what's wrong with the van. I went to go start it one morning. I just been too
because
busy.
you built a race van.
That's true.
You built a racing econo line
Big shout out to J&K Engines
Now
for
I
giving
wanna-
me a ridiculous engine
with
for
a whistle
van.
turbo.
Now I want to know if you've solved the other simplest mechanical problem, but probably most difficult to figure out problem with one of your cars. And it's a very Scotto problem. Do we know what it is?
Bro, there's 25 cars. I can't even begin to guess.
Have you found a way to get a key for your RS2?
Oh, no, I found the key.
Oh, okay.
Ashley
Where was
found
it?
the key. It was in her car.
I didn't even know about this.
Yeah, I
He
lost
just
the
lost his
RS2
only
key.
key.
So
You have one RS2 key?
yeah, and apparently, yeah. So, man, I didn't. This is not. we
It always
we
turns
haven't
into
even
a
hit the
roast.
first line of the notes, guys.
All right, let's skip. Let's
Okay,
go to the notes.
no.
All right.
So to back it up, I want to finish out the Rabbit, and then I'll get to that. The funniest part about it is I get home and I get texted by a friend in the neighborhood, and some woman was filming the two of us pushing the Rabbit.
I saw
test. And the line was something like the last of a dying breed.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she was talking about the Rabbit
Or us.
Like just two guys
Just
walking.
pushing it. I took it, and maybe this is just me being hopeful, but I took it as, she was proud of just two friends pushing the car down.
Yeah, because now people are so minimal nonsense that they're just like, have to buy a new car.
Yeah.
Right? They can't deal with the pain.
I'll just get a subscription to a 3 Series or something.
I want a Tesla.
Or they would do
subscription.
something pragmatic like call AAA.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Not us. We
But
pushed
like
the car home.
the nostalgia of pushing
It
the
was
car
nice.
home. Your
Yeah,
friend.
it was fun.
Yeah. The only reason you use a AAA tow is when your car breaks at the track.
Yeah.
Duh.
But
Yeah.
you know what Brian is probably like a little bummed about? How long has it been since you flat towed a car?
Oh,
That's
don't.
peak nostalgia.
So we
No.
tried to flat tow the car, but obviously didn't have a tow hook.
Yeah.
So then I tried to do like the race car thing where you like hold the strap out the window.
no way.
Yeah, we
Like,
did.
what
We
world?
did.
In what world? Is your shoulder okay?
But I realized that like
It
I've done it
almost
before.
works.
I've done it before, and when you do it in a race car, you hold it against the A pillar. You
The roll
push
cage.
the strap against the A pillar roll cage.
Yeah.
and that will pull it forward. But I was just trying to do it with my arm, and like he's just, I'm like, oh no.
I just imagine like a cartoon skit of Ron driving away with your limb attached to the.
I just idle away and I hear, look, stop.
No, well, the thing is in my head, because at one point I'm like, there's no way I can do this. I have to let go. But then I just envisioned the tow hook, like grabbing like the hood on the Swallow and just like ripping, like just peeling back the whole front of the car like a sardine can.
Just doing
I held on.
hilarious
I'm like,
maximum
stop,
damage.
stop. And he's like, I'm like, no, stop.
Jesus.
I was shocked that didn't work. That a human arm couldn't
weird.
pull.
That's
whatever,
period
2000.
correct for the 70s of like kids doing nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Because like in no world is that going to work. But your brain.
We did roll.
went
No,
back
we
to
rolled.
that.
We got it like 5 feet.
Oh, great.
But then he started to pushing a little bit, and
Yeah.
I was like, "This is gonna tear my arm right out of my rotator."
I'm too embarrassed to tell the shoulder doctor what happened.
I already have 2 bad knees. It's like I need my shoulders. Anyway, boys. So, all right, look. Today's show is the pilot of Very Vehicular, and I'm calling this the pilot, the pilots. So we're gonna do 3 different shows in one show. because
Of course.
you guys love the
You're
abuse.
such a maximalist.
Okay, so first up, we're just gonna do what like is a standard kind of modern day podcast format, which is banter and bullshit. We've been doing that already. We'll keep that going, but there are a few topics I want to touch on. Second, we're gonna try out a listing idea I have called firing order, and I think I told you guys already what the concept is. We're gonna talk about our favorite Hoonigan builds we were involved with. We could do best, worst, whatever. We're going to try to make that into a list of 3. And then lastly, we're going to play a surprise game of good cop, bad cop. So we're going to open up our marketplace and we're going to share the last 3 cars we all saved with each other.
Oh, boy.
I don't save anything on Marketplace.
Yeah, I don't really save much,
What?
but
I don't even know where you look at your saved on Marketplace.
I save
do you
stuff,
not
but I
save?
never look at it after the fact.
Yeah, I don't.
That's even better. Well, then you guys could just judge mine.
Or,
I mean, honestly,
I mean,
we
I
probably
text-
could just
I
make a
text
show out of
myself
that.
That's
that
more
one.
fun.
I
Yeah.
Because you know, me
much.
and Ron's will be like on the realm of cool. Like yours is going to
Yeah.
be like super wacky.
yeah,
or yours will just be like, you'll be like, here's the 8th Raptor I'm going to own.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
something lame that's like, practical.
All right.
Good point.
Yeah.
So what's been new, boys?
Half winning.
Horse noise. Half winning?
I watch Curb a lot, especially when I fly. I just binge watch seasons of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and apparently that's called a Winnie.
A Winnie.
A Winnie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I just say horse noise.
Both work. Both work.
What's new? I don't know. We're trying to figure out this
For those two
post-Hoonigan
people who-
life.
Yeah, post-Hoonigan life's weird.
Yeah,
Oh.
it is weird. It's a strange place. And like when you have a change that big, you try a bunch of weird stuff and different stuff, and it's just like some things stick, some things don't. And it's cool. Like last year was crazy. Like it was a wild year. The most driving I've ever gotten done in a year. Vinny and I competed in SRO, a professional racing series, as the most unprofessional dudes humanly possible.
You set an EV record at Pikes Peak.
I did. Yeah, I did. I did Pikes. Oh, thank you, boys. Thank you. Which still stands to this day.
Because
Never mind that it was half mountain.
Right? So whatever, take
And
it.
the fact that
Never
no
have
one else
to-
competed in that class.
Bro,
Hey, man, it's fine.
update your Wikipedia.
Yeah.
2-year running record holder, Pikes
Yeah.
Peak.
100%. I still keep it in my profile because Vin made so much fun of me. He was like, bro, you don't talk about it at all. And so I put it in
No,
my
you made
profile.
like 1 reel.
No,
You're like, "Ah, that's
I
done."
made 5 reels, which is 5 more than I've made in the past 3 years. So, so yeah, we did a bunch of that. We tried a thing called Driver's Era together. Well, we did a thing called Driver's Era
Yeah, we did
together. Kicked that off, and then probably like 2 months ago, Vin went full on Driver's Era, full like your YouTube jam type thing, and I'm moving on to like a little bit of the roots. I'm going back to my roots of rally car stuff. So got some things going there.
So new brand in the works.
New brand in the works.
Can you talk about that, or is
Yeah.
it still top secret?
Yeah,
What's
I mean
called?
it's in the idea phase, which you know very
I love
well.
the idea. The idea phase is where almost everything I'm doing is right now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
not just idea. I mean, I have some samples coming, and I have a trip coming up that's like I don't know. You can't call it a kickoff tour, but anyway, stepping back. Yeah, I did like 15 years of my career was rally car stuff, right? Like following Ken around, WRC, American Rally Association. I did stuff at 0 to 60, so I really miss that. And I love that scene. And I just genuinely love rally cars. And I think,
And you loved rally cars when I met you.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
when you applied for the internship at 0 to 60, I think one of the reasons you floated to the top is because everyone else was like either like a Formula One or a sports car fan,
Yeah.
and you liked rally, which was something I liked, and I was like, oh, all right, this dude
Absolutely.
gets it.
Yeah, I mean, my parents are from Poland, and when we moved to the U.S., everybody was into like football, baseball, whatever. It's like, no, I grew up with boxing and rally, and I didn't want to get punched in the face, so it was rally cars for
So
me.
instead, you just get punched in the gut.
Yeah, exactly, and the wallet.
Yeah.
So, the working name for the company is Anti-Lag, because that's easily the coolest thing about rally cars. And
For sure.
I just feel like
Great name too.
Thank you.
It's kind of amazing that it isn't already a name.
There's a forum in Australia. But yeah, as a company name, like the fact that I was able to get a URL and all that, like crazy.
And like I think anti-lag recently has become more commonplace for people because with modern ECUs, you have like either like fake anti-lag or anti-lag adjustment.
And that's one of those things too. Like there's not a ton of knowledge out there on like the differences. Like a lot of people think anti-lag is, you know, you press that button on the steering wheel when you're doing a highway pull, whatever. That's kind of, but not really. That's not rally style.
Anyway, I was just gonna say, does that annoy you? That like,
why don't you explain to the listeners what real anti-lag is and how it works?
Yeah, real rally style anti-lag is combustion that happens beyond the piston in your exhaust manifold to spin the turbo when you let off throttle. Like all the different anti-lags of like no lift shift or like a two-step, whatever, everybody calls those anti-lag. I guess it kind of works because it's, you know, spooling up the turbo, but true rally style anti-lag, you have a post-chamber air intake. You have little ducts welded into your exhaust manifold that then fuel goes past the cylinder, it explodes in your manifold, spins the turbo up, and you keep your turbo on boost all the time.
I can't imagine developing or engineering something that is more violent and vicious to the internals of an engine than that.
Yeah.
You know what's cool about that is I don't know if the Lancia has it, but the Evo 5 and 6 have proper fresh air injection anti-lag in the exhaust manifold, which
from the factory.
So sick.
From the factory. And you literally just like one toggle on the ECU and you put it back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dope. And all like Evo 9s, the JDM and the true Euro ones, they all have that too. They have the servo and everything. They just didn't give it to the US because they knew everybody was going to be two-stepping all over the place. But anyway,
although I do remember when the Evo 8 came out and it had factory two-step, was like the coolest thing in the world.
It really was. And it was so good. It was like it wasn't a slow one.
Yeah, it was sick.
It was like really aggressive.
We used just two-step Tony Chan's car all through a story. Everywhere.
Option 2 sticker on the back bumper, hard bushing everything.
Yeah, so sick.
So
he bought that car off of bootleg Option 2 stickers.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We might have to bleep his name, but yeah.
No,
there's enough Tony Chans in the world.
Yeah, I think that's beyond statute of limitations of bootleg stickering. So I don't know. I felt like, you know, and maybe this is a conversation point for a different pod, but when we all got into cars, it wasn't like the cool thing to be into. Everybody wasn't into it. It was a pretty niche thing, and it was hard to be into cars. Now, everybody, like the most regular people I talk to are into F1 and they know the drivers and they know the cars and the teams. I'm like, man, this is sick. And not a lot of people know about rally and what's going on there. And the stories behind it are absolutely bananas. Like you'll go to Goodwood and you'll see a historic Delta Integrale and you see a fire, like a fire bottle in the footwell, but it's the original NOS bottle fire bottle that they used to do, because back then after tech inspection they would replace the fire bottle with nitrous so they get a little, you know, extra boost.
And you already had fuel in your roll cage, so where else would you put it?
So if your car set on fire, you're kind of shit out of luck, but you had nitrous and you won. So there's so many different stories. It's crazy. It's such an adventurous motorsport, and I want to share some of my experience with it and just bring that world to the modern car world through storytelling, through trips, through talking to people. So
awesome.
It's cool, man. You got to do what you're passionate about, you know, and
that's
I feel
absolutely
like rally is really where your heart is. So it's like, that's great.
100%.
It's always, I mean, you have always been sort of the rally guy in the group. Even though I liked rally, you were more rally. You were like farther deep in it.
Fueled by rally.
And it's funny, oh God. It's funny because Hurt was like talking to me at one point. He's like, why doesn't Ron just do more rally stuff? Like that feels like
probably money.
A section.
Like, yes, you know, you just
100%.
Like you need, like drifting is a consumable, stupid hobby. Rally, probably worse.
The whole car is a consumable. Drifting is like tires, brakes,
and like a bumper here and there.
Yeah.
To clarify, he meant on the content side. Like from a brand side.
Right.
Why don't you do more about rally? Because that's like such your thing. So now you are doing that.
And not to go super deep into that, but I was really excited because you know, I spent so much time on the road with Ken, surrounded by rally, everything. And when I came to Hoonigan in 2018, I still have a deep love of drifting. Like I love that culture. I remember pre-YouTube days watching tons of like, 240p drift videos and compilations and all that. And to be able to step into Southern California, like the US Mecca of all that, was so sick. I got the JZX90, like I went to Apple Valley, I did all these things. I loved exploring that part. So you guys saw me in the phase of like getting out of rally for a bit to, dabble in that world.
Yeah.
And now I want to get back in.
Yeah, I mean, you were definitely taking rally like 1,000 miles an hour to the face with Ken.
Dude, it was mainline.
I remember those
OD.
days.
Mainline
I only did it for 2 years, maybe 3 years, 2 years, and I'm still exhausted from it.
Right? You still can't sleep at all.
Yeah, it was like 13 years ago. Like, that's when the cough developed.
Yeah.
Like I got the rally cough, like that cough I get when I laugh and I just can't stop coughing. Like I got that on rally. I don't know. It never went away. Like I still have bad sleep patterns and I still eat rally cakes. I have some here.
That's the thing on a rally when you're in between stages and you're going, like it's a really long, extraneous day. So when you go to a gas station, it's like an oasis. Like you waste no time. You get every snack possible. You get the little aioli dips and a bag of chips. You're like crafting your own meals from gas stations.
We could have ran an entire snack show on what we were getting at gas stations.
Yeah,
because we first of all would try anything.
Yeah,
like anything was up for grabs. But you also start to learn like we're probably not going to get back to service in time to eat because they'll have already fed the crew. So like, is this enough caloric intake to get us to 4 a.m, which is when we're going to get to sleep for half an hour because then we need to get up and drive to stage.
It was trailer park, no reservations.
I'll say it's a little bit of a miss, Brian. You wanted to have like Ballast Boy reunion here on the show, and you don't have a single snack.
After the intermission,
man.
I want to rewind on 2 things. The first thing I want to rewind on is before you said, like when we got into cars weren't cool.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like my entire life has been getting into things when they're not cool. Like when I rode BMX in the early 90s. It wasn't cool anymore.
Yeah, but you're the type of dude that wants to, like, you don't like it once it's cool.
No, that's where I'm getting at. That's where I'm getting at. Like
you're bummed when your band gets on the radio.
That 100%. Yeah. Like I like punk rock, and then all of a sudden, like punk rock started. Like we got pop punk on the radio.
How depressed are you going to be when Icon starts doing Mexican B150 builds?
No. It's just like, it's one of those things because like yesterday I went to go see the F1 movie, and it's a really good movie. I really enjoyed it, but it's like you do realize that like this movie couldn't have happened 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It happens now because like we are at least in my lifetime, I think it might have been bigger in the 60s, but this is like we are in peak automotive.
And
automotive
I think it's really
never
cool.
been cooler than it is now.
I think it's really
part
cool.
of it bother you though?
It does. So first off, I'll say my absolutely lukewarm take on this is that F1 fans are not car people. F1 fans are sports people who
100%.
like a
It's
sport
always
that
been
has
that
a car,
way.
which is fine. But I'm really excited to see the growth of automotive in every direction. Like I think like women in cars is cool. There's a lot more than there ever was. I think like we did a deck early days Hoonigan that featured an article that said like kids don't care about cars anymore. That has like completely gone, and now it's back to like kids love cars.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the culture that people are getting into is really shitty. I think a lot of the stuff that people are promoting is bad. Well, one, takeovers,
other than takeovers,
but I'm not even going to harp on it.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the like crappy influencers and content creators that promote stuff kind of set people in the wrong direction. And you could like spot these people from a mile away.
Yeah.
It's, it's like all the like flame throwing, burble tune bullshit cars with ugly wraps and stupid wheels that like promote just like doing 1,000 miles an hour in the canyons or like being like super reckless on the street for clicks. And like that stuff looks cool, but to like impressionable dumb kids, it's like what they think cars are, and they get into it for that. And I think it's all wrong.
They're getting
Whereas
steered
like
in the wrong direction.
we got into it for a whole different thing. Now people are into it for like a visual, spectacular like nonsense that I don't think fits a core like automotive demographic. But and it's like the stuff that I think will eventually ruin cars for the road, because that's the shit that cops don't like. And,
Absolutely.
Absolutely. The thing for me, and I obviously a bit older than you guys, which you always point out, is that for me, I've been there before where like the tidal wave comes in and then it pulls back out.
Yeah.
And when it pulls back out, it sucks. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I think we all start to build this industry or everything we do around like what the peak feeling is, and then all of a sudden it goes away, and like all the things that came with it go away, the partnerships, like the audience, and also the cool factor, because it literally goes from being super cool to like, oh, you're still into cars. Like I remember that post Fast and Furious era where everybody was just making fun of anyone with a tuner car, but 5 years previous everyone thought it was really cool.
I mean, you could see it already in that, like in hip hop. I mean, everyone was using like 90s JDM cars for a while, and then now it's sort of like pulled back, and it's not happening as much because like I think it was like really unique and cool for a couple years, and now it's like sort of not. But to hit closer to home, you know what I watched happen, and the wave is I think already pulled back, and people are sort of like realizing real life is having too many project cars.
Yes.
I think during the pandemic was peak YouTube project cars. Everyone went from having one car to having like
6
tons, right? And I'm not just talking shit about you. It's out there, everyone. I think
I 100%, and I feel the same way. And yesterday I was talking to Hurt, and Hurt said the same thing. He's like, I think I'm at a realization that I want to have like one or two really good
focus
cars.
down.
So it went to this thing where like you look at YouTubers and people don't understand the YouTube model. Like they see Adam LZ having 50 cars and they're like, that's the goal. And it's like, no, Adam may want 50 cars because who doesn't?
Yeah.
But you also need it for content with the volume that they put out.
That's the business model.
That's the business model. So then you start thinking like, oh, I should have a drift car, a grip car, a street car, a drag car, and you start doing all this
quantum
stuff.
wagon.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And then you realize, and this is like everyone across the board, is like it is impossible to like do it all without a staff. You know?
Yeah.
Like it's impossible. You can't do it. And I
just
think
the
that,
logistics of parts ordering and maintenance, and then this thing breaks, and then this one's in paint, and then this one's got to get towed, and you're like losing your mind while managing a fleet and a business and trying to make good content and trying to have a life. It's impossible.
Growing up, we had one car.
Yes.
I mean, I dailied my cool cars until I was like in my 20s, and I bought like a winter beater.
Yeah.
Right. And that was everyone's kind of thing. And if you had a friend that had 2 cool cars,
what does he do for a living?
What the fuck?
Drugs. Definitely sells drugs.
Right. But then now it's like insane that it's like, you'll be like, how many cars do you have? Oh, you have 6? Oh, yeah, I have 7. Oh, how many? Oh, you have 25. Oh, okay. And like everyone does
I cut mine down to 5.
I'm down too. I cut down a lot because I'm like, I realize that it's like impossible. And I think universally, like the people out there have went from owning a ton of cars, like people just being like, I can't possibly have like 2
100%.
good cars, you know? So I think that wave has come and gone.
Is this an intervention?
No, you know
is this
it
like
too.
a podcast turn to
No,
like...
you know it too.
No, I know
You
it.
feel it.
I definitely feel it. I just have a hard time separating from it. I would say that there are some cars I bought because it made sense for the brand.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
Totally. But then there's other cars I bought because like I have ADHD and I just get excited about the new part. Like I sent this video to Ron the other day and it was so good. And it was just this girl being like, if you want like half of something done, like I'm really good at getting half of something
I will
done.
crush
I will
it.
crush the first half.
Yeah.
But I probably won't do the second half. And like that's like me for all my projects.
But you have the luxury, and you've had the luxury from Hoonigan of space.
Yeah.
Because like for me, even like we share a shop, and I'm like, our shop is mad small. So like I can't get another car because it has nowhere to live.
Guys,
you know, so it's like it's so easy to just be like, well, if I buy another thing that I already can't handle, I now have to figure out another place to put it and store it.
And it's
pay
not just
for
the
it.
car, it's the OEM wheels that come off of it, it's the
Yeah.
body parts, it's the spares, it's the everything.
Yeah.
you say luxury. You realize I bought an operational farm just to stash my cars at, and now I have a farm problem. Like
That's not a video,
luxury.
that's a series of its own.
Yeah.
That is literally a series, shed by shed.
All right, as you heard earlier in this episode, I have a toxic relationship with working vehicles. Yeah, and if it wasn't for FCP Euro, even less of my European cars would be on the road. These guys have been great about getting me parts quickly. They have a warehouse in Connecticut. They have a warehouse in Arizona, which means I'm usually only a day or so away from getting my car out of a bad situation. They also have a great catalog of parts, whether that's for new cars or the older cars that I love. I've had a relationship with them for almost 10 years now. They've helped support me on so many of my projects, helped me find hard, rare to find parts for vehicles like my European import RS2. And on top of all of that, they have a really, really good DIY video library on YouTube. Okay, here's a little thing I'm going to let you all in on. Most YouTubers watch other YouTubers to figure out how to put parts together on their YouTube channel. That's right. They're going to give you things like the torque specs and which gaskets to use, and also all the part numbers that are required to do, like, a water pump change on an E36 or something. So go check them out. And on top of all of that, they're a really great part of the community. They do some awesome cars and coffees. They're motoring meets, just all around. I think I'm wearing their hat right now. Great company, great to work with. They're one of us. FCP Euro, thanks for helping me make this show possible. How's Drivers There going?
Good.
So you guys are separated on this now. So you do kind of both doing your own thing. You're doing your thing. You're doing your thing.
Yeah, we still share a shop, but on Drivers Era, it's all Vin.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think like equally on like the passionate side. So one, for me, it's like all I do is YouTube and now the brand. And we were going to do it together. And it just kind of was like never quite aligned when it's like someone's like side project and someone's main thing. And, I got Jolly, who, I love and adore and needs to make some more money. And like, we want to do the thing together. And like, we kind of got to make it all work. And honestly, like Drivers Error for me is like, I started that brand page as like a car dealership, just like selling the cars that I love. And I'm a little bit more like, I don't know, boring, practical, like whatever. But I just like cars from that era that are like pretty friggin' fun right out the box and are fun street cars. Like I had just gotten back into doing track stuff, but like I really just love a good friggin' street car.
Yeah.
So like
a no crazy engine swap.
Yeah,
not a ton of motor mods.
I'm anti-engine swap now.
Absolutely.
Anti-engine swap.
Absolutely.
I hate engine swaps. I think they're trash. They mostly suck on the street. Sorry, Brian. We could argue about that on a whole different podcast.
I get it.
But yeah, so like for me, it's just, I want to make a brand that celebrates the era of cars that I absolutely love. Late 90s to like 2010s, things that have like everything you need, nothing you don't, and they're just like fun to drive. So, and I'm going to, I just got my dealer license. So I'm finally going to start buying and selling cars because like, to me, it's like you buy cars and keep them forever.
Yeah.
Me, I have
I can't keep track, bro.
Let me tell you about. I just figured this out. But me, I'm okay with experiencing something and moving on. So I just realized this because we're making a series with my dad's Chevelle, which is his dream car. And growing up, my dad never had a cool car like of his own. He never had a project car, right? But what he did, he's worked at the same Chevrolet dealership since I was a kid, and he is he's a parts department manager, and he gets demo cars. So growing up, he'd always have a brand new car for 6 months and then something else. And they weren't like sick, but some of them were sick. He had like Lumina Z34s, Beretta GTZs. Beretta GTZ, teal with teal wheels.
Yeah, pretty
still
hard.
to this day goes incredibly hard. And just like nonsense, like cars like that. So I think maybe that sort of changed like my idea of like, new stuff all the time is like fun.
Yeah.
So for me, a dealer would be sick because like I've always wanted to own, X, right? A 997 turbo. And it's like, well, now maybe I could go out. I could find the coolest,
it gives you a reason
example
to,
of it, buy it, make some videos about it, and then sell it and be like, okay, I got my kicks,
Because for you, like ownership is like a box check thing. Like I got that, and now I'm on to the next. You're like,
it's not a box check as much as it's like
check. Next.
Well, like, all right. So for example, I idolized my entire childhood Mark IV Supra, watching StreetFire.net videos of those things, just like doing highway runs. Guess what? No one just lets you drive a Mark IV Supra.
Yeah.
So like, I wanted to buy one, and I'm like, I need to own this. And then I owned it, and I didn't like. It wasn't everything I ever wanted it to be. Maybe the example I bought wasn't, but I was like, okay, that I like finally got to try it, So for me, it's like, there's all these cars that I've always just like wanted to drive. And now with YouTube, I could probably like finagle my way into like driving one of them. But like,
it's a different experience when you're driving someone else's car versus like you actually own it. You turn a wrench on it or two.
Dude, people ask me all the time because I've driven like some incredible cars recently. I mean, I drove a Carrera GT, the Gunther Works Turbo, like tons of crazy shit. But like when you film to make a video, like my main priority is making a good video. So it's like you do your research on the car, you find things you want to talk about, and then you're like, okay, you get in the car and you have to drive it. You have to film, you have to talk, you have to shoot rollers that you're paying attention to. And it's like sensory overload, and then it's over.
Yeah.
You know, I think like some of the journalists, like if you're working a traditional magazine, like I know Matt Farah, because he does road and track content, like they'll just like Gunther Ricks will just give him a car for like a week.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
For
what
me-
you need.
So you truly
For me,
experience
they're
it.
like, okay, you got, you know, a couple hours, do this whole thing. And you're like, oh shit, I got a lot of work to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't really get to enjoy it. Like, do I enjoy a Carrera GT? Yeah, driving it was fun, I think. But like, I didn't get to experience it.
Of
So for me, it's like, it's fun to like live with something for
Yeah.
a little bit and see how it is and then kind of move on.
I remember when I was a journalist, we would like get a car for just a day and you'd spend the whole day shooting it. And you're just like, you're sitting there staring at this thing. I remember Tech Art gave me a 997 turbo, which like at the time was like 700 horsepower, which like in 2000, whatever, 2007, like maybe 2008, like that was a lot of power in a 911. Like now you can get that factory.
They're still
but-
fast.
Yeah. And I got in, I went, took one out. I spent the entire day just looking at it parked. Because we're like shooting this, we're doing that, like setting up lights, and then like at the end of the day, I'm like, well, this sucks. I barely got to drive the
Yeah.
car.
You did like
And-
3 pulls.
Yeah, and I
maybe.
was supposed to bring it back at 5:00, and luckily missed the drop off window. And they were like, all right, because it was I think it was Klaus back in the day used to run Tech Art stuff, and they were like, all right, just bring it in tomorrow. And I drove the car all night.
Right.
So it's like
Yeah.
a finally, and it was like just
Yeah.
I was there like by myself, got to go just like
You
went,
actually get to
yeah,
experience
got to go
the car
experience
for what
it,
it is.
enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
really hard to like do the whole thing. So yeah, like that, you know, the dealership I think is going to be super fun for me. I mean, my goal is to like kind of be a blend between like RMC Miami, where I can go and buy cars in other countries that are like modded and crazy, but also like do some grail cars and like great specs and like collector style condition.
Do you see yourself getting to drive every car first? So like, is everything that you're like, will you buy and just sell immediately, or do you think that like part of the experience for you is to like sort of own it?
No,
as-
I think
for,
like
a
own
month or
it,
so?
make some content with it, you know, get to like experience the cars and like always like, you know, fix them up, make sure it's better, maybe add like key mods to it and stuff. Cause like what I actually don't have any interest in selling is like this new like collector car market sucks. I think it's so lame. Nothing worse to me than like tracking down cars with like 3-digit mileage. You know?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
you're flatbedding these things to go shoot them for photos
Ugh.
because like you can't even drive them. And I'm like, I would way more rather promote like the things that I love, which is like if I could find a Carrera GT with 50,000 miles, like buy
That's
that style.
the
stuff.
ultimate Vin
Yeah.
Carrera GT.
Dude, I say my next dream car is a Scud, but I want a 70,000 mile
Yeah.
previously crashed, like
Yeah.
repainted one because
Okay.
like,
I just need, for normal car enthusiasts out there, a 50,000 mile Carrera GT is the equivalent of like a normal car with 200,000
yeah.
miles.
250. Yeah. Yeah.
but like that's the stuff that I find exciting. And I think it's so funny because I'm still on forums and stuff and I read into all this crap. And like, I said it the other day because I still fucking love just hitting noobs on the forums and stuff. But like, there has never.
You still out there flame suiting
Oh,
on
hell
forums?
yeah. Hell yeah. You want to know why? Because there's not a single cool story about your 300-mile Carrera GT.
None.
You know what's a cool story? When you pull up to a car meet and like, yo, there's a dude, football player. He came up to Good Vibes. He was driving an F40. And this thing was hammered.
Hell yeah.
In a good way. Not like destroyed, but rock chips.
Yeah.
Like
Driven.
wheels were brake dust coated. It had scratches, swirl marks. The Lexan windows were like scratched up.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, it's just a car.
Driver's
I can drive
condition.
it. And I'm like, that is so much more impressive than going to Pebble Beach and seeing one with 150 miles on it. And the guy's like, yeah, I like rub a diaper on it and like it's super
Yeah.
sick. Like it's so lame,
It's cleaner than factory.
Yeah,
It's
oh,
like,
yeah.
whatever.
I got it paint corrected so that you could see the carbon.
Whereas,
so
like, I know
falling
all
asleep.
of us back in the day, I know you'll remember, is like in New York, there was a dude that pulled up to like the go-kart track and he had a white, I think it was a 997 GT3 at the time, rubber marks all across the hood and the bumper and everything from just track days.
Yeah,
And we're
it's-
like, that's the dude.
It's so much
That's the
cooler.
dude.
So like I would rather buy high mileage like storied cars
Yeah.
and sell them to people who want to drive them. Like I don't think I really want to get into that like collector car like never driven market thing because there's enough people doing it and I just think it's boring. Like I don't see any
I think that's fantastic. Like that, and again, like that whole like collect miles, not dust thing.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Like experience the car for what it was built to do.
Dude, my 360 changed me. Like straight up.
Where do I live in the middle there? Because
You do both.
Because I have a headliner sitting on top of my Ferrari right now. So I'm clearly not the diaper crowd, but I also haven't driven it in a month.
Yeah.
So I'm
know.
like in a weird in between.
You're like
because I don't cherish cars at all. Like when I
Right.
drive them, I don't care if they get hit. I don't care if I get rock chips. I don't care about any of that.
I mean, you just like the things. You're a thing
Yeah,
guy.
I'm a thing guy.
You're a thing guy.
I'm also a dad.
Well, you're a
limits my time guy.
You're a builder. You love the build paper building.
Yeah, but I don't ever
parts
have the time to do
collecting.
any of it.
Well,
I
you
mean,
do. You. I mean, your halfway build of the 8.6 is sick.
Yeah, true.
I think you like your thing is like you're like a collector, but what gets your rocks off is like telling people that you have something that like they don't have. So like you want to be like sure, like you want to be like I'm doing an 86, it's got a VR6 with ITDs. Like it's crazy, right?
And then people are like, "Wait, what?" And
Because
you're like,
Yeah, let's stretch out on this one.
yeah, because like if you ask Mike Burrows, he always jokes that he's like, if someone said you could either build cars or drive cars, you could only do one. He'd be like, build. Doesn't care about
Yeah,
like
yeah.
not that he doesn't care, but he'd rather
I'm
build it.
polar opposite.
Yeah, whereas like Ron and I would be like, I would rather, and this sounds like crappy, but I would rather show up to a built car and go out to the track.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I enjoy both.
But I
'cause,
like working on cars. I do.
Yeah.
I like building cars, but I really build them because I want to drive them.
You like making them better for the driving experience. Like that process is fun, but at the end of the day, like driving is the thing.
We both suffer working on cars to drive them.
Yeah. I enjoy them both, but like I'm at a point in my life where I don't own a daily driver.
Right.
Like I just drive. That's why like when we talked about all my cars being broken, it's because I just drive them all.
Yeah.
And then they break and then I move to another one, which is one of the upsides of having 25 cars. You can be like, I'll get back to that.
Yeah.
But that was a decision I made because I was driving one of the Hyundais, like the Santa Fe or something, the Santa Cruz, because they gave it to me for like 6 months.
As Vin put it, the Santa whatever.
Yeah.
Could not remember the name of it.
But like it's a great, useful, functional
works.
vehicle. It works
Really well.
and it like sucked some of my soul out because like I found myself just going and getting in it every day because it was easier.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to get to my destination.
Yeah.
I knew that like I wasn't going to run out of all my AAA tows in a single week.
Yeah.
And so I was doing it because it was easy. And then when I removed that from my life, I was like, okay, now I drive my RS2 or my Rabbit like everywhere, sometimes the van.
Dude.
But like I drive the RS2 a ton.
Dude, I had put more miles on my 360 than I have my Raptor.
Yo.
I've had my Raptor for a year and a half now, which is like huge for me, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Wow,
But
that's huge.
I put 4,000 miles on it. I never drive it ever.
Wow.
I just drive my fun cars all the time. And I was
Yeah.
joking about it the other day because Jolly got a pickup truck. He got like a 23 Tundra and literally drives his JZX or Z almost every day.
It's amazing.
And it's like, because
I love that.
similarly, it's like out here, I don't know, you could do it. And it's like, if
you
you don't
should.
have a really crappy commute where you sit in traffic every day,
Yeah.
like you could drive your fun car every day.
Yeah.
And I drive my fun car no matter what, unless it's like I have to go to Irwindale, you know,
and you
at
really
4
need
o'clock.
like the
I'm
best AC.
yeah, you just need the
possible.
best AC and
Yeah.
automatic.
Yeah.
Like,
Sometimes
yeah.
you need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was with Ilya from Final Bout, and it's like he either has his FD RX-7 or his RX-8. It's the
Ilya-
only two cars he owns, and both of those cars are like jammers.
He
Like,
is such a champion. He has so many miles on that FD.
It's sick.
Yeah. And it's built. It's
Yeah.
like a built single turbo.
I'm going to do an episode with Ilya. He's a good pal of mine, but
good.
I'm going to do an episode that's like, I haven't figured out a title for yet, but it's kind of like the one car that could do it all thing. Because he literally, he dailies it, he grip drives it, he'll race time attack with it, he goes drifting, he does toge drifting, like
Champion.
The thing is like his whole theory is he's like, I want one car that's perfect.
Yeah.
And he has a friend who's like a genius, Nikita.
Yeah.
And Nikita is like a blend of all of us. He's got like 15 cars.
Yeah.
They're all
Yeah.
built and swapped, and he's got everything.
He's got like a SR E30,
Which
but
is
also
sick.
a 992 GT3.
yeah, and
He's also a bit of a mad scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
and he's got a Mark V Supra manual that he did all his stuff to, and like he's got all this stuff, and Ilya and him like argue all the time because like Nikita's cars will break, And he's like, you just have too much crap. He's like, you just need to like whittle it down. So I think it's a really fun take to be like, do one car and make it like perfect.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Except his car doesn't have AC, which is like crazy.
I think I'm getting more where I'm starting to have like real internal conversations with myself of like, what if like this was just perfect? Right? Like what if the RS2 was just perfect? Like, because you said this the other day, you're like, we always make fun of Scotto for his ridiculous car collection. But if you actually just listed 5 of his cars,
Yeah, it's fire.
you're like 911 RWB, Ferrari 360, NGT kitted, RS2,
We would always
Nova.
be like, Scotto's
Nova. I
so
forgot about the Nova.
Scotto's so annoying because he has cool cars, but then we'll just be like, yeah, I can't wait to work on this green wagon out of The Simpsons. I'm gonna do a 5-cylinder, and we're just like, oh my god, I couldn't. Possibly
literally
care less.
have a 360.
Yeah. Like, what about the Nova? Like, just push this thing, make it a coral reef on the farm.
Bro, it goes
the
back.
wagon should turn into a coral reef. What animals would graze in there? Like,
But it goes
like
back to what you said.
gopher hut or something.
It
you
goes
know?
back to what you said before, which is like, I like things that other people don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also like things that people like. Oh, it's like the mix, you know? So, or maybe I need those other things. So like I still like people put respect on the Quantum because they're like, I don't know.
We're getting real
a guy
philosophical
with a
here.
Ferrari and a 911, maybe he knows something I don't know. Maybe a Quantum wagon is actually a lot cooler than I think.
It's just one of those things. I mean,
it's cool adjacency.
When you've been into cars for as long as you have, like it's the weird stuff that really gets you going.
It's
I don't know.
This is totally toilet kink. At this point.
That Quantum got dropped off at that whatever the hell thing we did at SEMA that year, and literally like everyone was just like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with Scotto? Like we were all like concerned because that thing got dropped off, and we were like, this is no
car
way.
almost kicked off an intervention.
Yeah, we were like, this is like red flags going off. Like,
I've spent more time in the past year daydreaming about that car than any of my other projects. I have a Coupe Quattro race car that is this close.
The Coupe I always forget.
This close. I forgot about it until I went to Pikes Peak and everyone's like, oh, is your coupe here? And I'm like,
Brian, you said this close?
It's that close.
It's this close?
It's that close. Because that's literally how much the clutch needs to be pushed in by the slave. That's not happening. Because it runs.
So this measure is the gotta sec in Brian Scotto universe, because that car actually needs like, and I don't know how wide this lens is, but like it needs, go watch the episode that we just did on it. Ian literally walked away from that and was like, yeah, I'm never looking at this car again. Like it needs everything.
Oh, right,
and that's just to get it running. I mean, trust me, I built the Evo over a really, really long time, and that's with like still a decent amount of factory stuff in it. Building it and getting it done is a third of the battle.
Dude,
the development part is crazy.
Mike Burrows just went to Grid Life with his 244 GTK, the Ferrari K-swap thing, and still is having issues with it. And he finished that car like I think 3 years ago.
Development
and has done a bunch of track stuff with
but like you know, he goes out and things break that like he never planned for, and he's like refabbing stuff.
You know, okay, it's like a heat issue. Okay, then you do all this stuff. You redo the whole cooling system. Oh, it runs way cooler now. Oh wow, now it's over boosting. Okay, well, why is it over? Okay, then you fix that, and well, oh, now it's making a ton of power. Well, now the transfer case is the weak point. It's like
it's always
never
something.
ends, and then you make all this power, and then the brakes. Like I went through that with the Evo so much, where I really started disliking the car.
So you want to know what's really funny about that in particular is, you know, for everyone out there, like when you build a car for YouTube or content, because you built the Evo at Hoonigan,
absolutely,
you do a lot at once because that's the way you have to do it. So I bought this S15 and I'm like, I just want a drift car. And originally I wasn't even going to make content with it. I was like, I'm just buying this for me. I don't even care. But then I was in Spain and some things fell apart and I had to make some videos. So I made S15 content. But I'm not going to do it.
By the way, he texted me and said, my dream car is a secret drift car.
Yeah.
A secret drift car that I don't have to tell an audience about.
I talk to Ilya like every day and we always chat about this stuff. And I'm like, you know what I'm going to do with this car? I'm going to anti-car content it. Because what I'm going to do is like it needs subframe bushings, needs new dampers. I'm going to do that, get an alignment, and go drive it. Then I'm going to do one mod. I'm going to do knuckles. and I'm going to drive it. I'm going to see, do I like the steering Ackerman? Do I want less? Do I want more? And then change it from there. Whereas the YouTube model or the content model would be get it, take everything apart, do every single adjustable suspension arm, knuckles, different suspension, 17-way adjustable.
I got a NASCAR V8 for my S15. Next video. NASCAR V8 disaster.
But then the problem is you go out, like with my E36, the Gymkhana grid build car that turned time attack.
Yeah.
I took that car out. It worked. The car drove. I drove it on the street a bunch. It was fine. I take it out to the track and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I don't know where to start. You're like, okay, well, it doesn't have great front grip. Is it my tire setup? Is it my alignment? Is it the aero? Is it the dampers? Is it that the diff has too much decel lockup? Is it, and you're just like, holy shit, this is incredible, the amount of stuff that you change. Whereas like the way normal people built cars was like,
one at a time.
one at a time.
Yeah.
That's how we all built cars when we were kids.
Yeah.
Not
So-
only that, but real quick on the E36 is like, I'm sure this happened to you. You go to the track, you spent all this time building it, Texas Speed V8, all the right parts, you paint it, you do all this stuff, you're ripping laps. You're like, okay, I'm trying to figure it out. A dude in a full bolt-on M4 smokes you.
Oh, I have such a better story than that. Okay. So Chase and Brian from Chase Bays come out. We do a booster delete on the car because it like over boosted the brakes and it would like go into lockup too quick. So we do a booster delete, do a bunch of their parts. They did a sick crankcase setup on this car so it wouldn't like fill up a catch can in 16 seconds.
Oh, cool.
We work on the car whole day, go up to Buttonwillow. Get to Buttonwillow, fucking drop a valve right away. But it's an LS, so like, hey, nothing broke, literally easy. Troubleshoot this thing all day, can't figure it out, horrible. End of the day, Charles from SoCal Drivers Club is like, hey man, this sucks, dude. You should take out the rental E36. And I'm like, so I get in it.
Yeah.
Stock S52, CAE shifter, front brakes, tire, suspension, no other, and a bucket seat. I did like 15 laps in it. So happy.
Yeah.
And was like,
And what were the times? How close
I
were
don't
the
even
times?
care. I don't even care. I don't even care.
Right.
And I was like, I just had so much fun driving a car that has like 4 mods.
Yeah.
And I spent years building this horseshit race car thing.
Yeah.
I've been to the track with it 5 times. Every single time something broke. And this time I just blew my motor and spent 8 fucking hours working on it in a garage.
God, that reminds me of the last time I was at Apple Valley. There was a guy in a bone stock S13 angle welded diff.
Having the time of his life, I'm sure.
Oh, and
Lap
what happened to
after
you?
Lap after lap.
And what happened to
after
you
lap.
at that time at
We're not
AVS?
going to talk about that.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk.
Another, like, it's just like you do this crazy thing and
You
you're
do
like,
all this dumb stuff.
it's a lot. So I think for normal people, it's really cool to like slowly build your car and make sure you do it like in a way that you're able to figure it out and it'll be a lot more fun.
Are we no longer normal people?
Nah, we're tainted. I tell people, I was literally with a bunch of dudes the other night and I was like, I fucked up. I built cars for the internet and I fucked up by taking it too far, too quickly. And then you don't really know how to sort it out because you're trying to become like this like multiple part engineer where you're like figuring out like shocks and suspension and diff all at once. And you're like, that shit is all so complicated.
Yeah.
And the worst part is like, I know better because I worked on an actual race team and watched us chase.
Most
like,
of us did.
Watched us chase stuff that people put millions and millions of dollars to figure out how to do it, and they still couldn't figure out why something was doing
things
something
what you
weird.
have a team of 8 people and a budget of a lot of zeros and things still break and you still lose days.
And my car is a full drop-down menu build. I'll take
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
You make that
Stats.
for my car, I'll just add
Maxed.
all of that to the back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it makes
I
sense.
think it's part of the journey, though. Everybody's going to get there at some point. You're going to go the furthest you can personally go on a build because you have to. What else are you going to do? Are you going to be like, no, I'm not going to try? You try it, and then you reach that peak, and then you find your balance in between.
I'm super grateful for it because like it was a really incredible experience to be able like at Hoonigan to get all these sponsored parts.
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and be able to build crazy cars.
For sure.
And I'm a little bummed because I wish I had taken that ability to get all these crazy parts and build stuff that I would keep forever. But like I built Mass 14, and I was like,
Great build.
I just didn't. But I screwed up, and I did too much at once, and I didn't really like a lot of the stuff I did.
Yeah.
You know, and I think I did that too many times. Like my E36, I built a full parts catalog car, and I was like, and then at the end, I'm like, I should have done it differently.
But the thing about YouTube is it's very, very difficult to make the development time into good content. So you just don't get any development.
Yeah.
Like you build a car and then it's done and then there's like no time.
It's all facade mods.
Yeah, you're like on to the next stage and it's like, oh yeah, you put all this stuff in, but you're not spending
Well, it's like we were
time
just
to
talking
be able
about. It's
to
like the
figure it
last 10% of the work takes 90% of the time, but the last 90% of the time, no one wants to watch.
Well, there's no transformation.
Yeah.
All the views are in the first 10%.
Yeah.
New car, transformative bodywork, and that's it.
Big crazy mod.
Yeah.
Finished.
Yep.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And honestly, that's a pretty good segue into what Hoonigan builds were like, the brand builds.
Oh yeah, we could get into that because I mean that is the next line. Although I did want to ask one question because you mentioned this earlier, and I think this is an interesting one. Maybe it's a bit heavy for a podcast, but okay. So we are now, all of us are over 2 years post Hoonigan.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Yeah.
almost 2.5 years, I think, at this point. Right. I left in October of 23. Do you feel like things are I don't want to say better or worse, but I think when we all left, we were all really happy to be gone.
For sure.
Because like it just for all different reasons, and it was a change.
Man.
And I think it was all really exciting for the first 6 months for everybody.
Yeah.
I went to go work in a different industry, and I really enjoyed Super Plastic for the first 6 months. Obviously, I came back to automotive, but kind of looking at it because like I know that I talked to all of you guys individually, and it's like it's a weird bittersweet.
Man, I feel like this is going to be like a little bit grim of a topic because I love not having a day job, but I think I'm a lot less happy because I don't have the same like interactions.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that sucks the most for me is like I leave Hoonigan and all my friends and people who I thought were my friends, and then you don't see anyone anymore.
Yeah.
So Hoonigan was like a family, and we had this like built-in family that you saw because you had to.
Yeah.
And that was like my friend group in a lot of ways. And I have other friends, but you know, like Hoonigan was kind of like a lot of you guys are my core friends.
Yeah.
And then you leave.
Pretty abrupt.
I don't talk to it's like you guys, Hurt and I chat every now and then, kind of keep in touch with Dan.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right?
But
So you're like-
even that's so different from every day you come in and Zach for the 20th time has the heads off of his Corvette.
Yeah.
And Hurt is cold revving the Twerk Stallion.
Right.
And like,
I mean,
you
And
come
I
in-
talk to Zach a lot too, but my point I was getting at is then you leave and everyone's got to figure out their own life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone is too busy. So you don't see anyone anymore.
For sure.
And like, you're like, wow, my fucking friend group has like deteriorated.
Your life circle.
And you're
in a
like,
way,
now
right?
I'm like in my mid 30s and I'm like, I feel like I don't have a lot of super close friends because I moved out to California for this job. I spent my entire life working with these people. I didn't really have a huge friend group outside of it. And now no one has time for anyone.
Yeah,
I mean, even in our own group chat, like I talk shit about it a lot to you guys because we'll be like, let's go get lunch.
And we never
Can't even
Impossible.
make it happen. Like
Yeah.
everyone just has
Yeah.
so much shit going on in their life that they can't have a moment for anyone else. And families, and we got everything, you know, like, so
Yeah.
it's like, it's kind of a sad realization as an adult because, and like I said, this is going to be kind of grim because I was like,
Yeah.
You do that, right? So you're like, you lose all your friends. You're like, I feel kind of lonely. And then the other part sets in where you're like, you know, I always thought like when were an adult, you'd have your life figured out.
Oh,
And then you're like,
yeah.
well, now I'm in my mid 30s and like, I'm doing all right. You know, like I'm making money. I'm like having like visual fun most days. And you're like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, what happened? Like, I thought when I was like mid 30s, you'd be like, oh, I'm figured out. I'm cruising. I work my job. I'm going to retire or whatever. Now you're like, I literally have no idea what I'm doing. And I don't know where any of my friends are. And life is weird.
Yeah.
So
it is a really, really weird place to be in. I think we even talk about it a lot on an individual level, sometimes on the group chat, but like Hoonigan was such a gnarly like marathon sprint, if that makes sense. We were always running. It was one project after another, after another, after another, and we lived and died by the project that was happening at that time. Whether it was a new series, whether it was a revamp, whether it was apparel, or the burn yard, or a new location,
Or a Gymkhana launch.
or a Gymkhana launch. And sometimes these things stepped on each other, where towards the end of it, we were so burnt that we were just like,
Yeah.
all right, I could do what I want to do. I could do my thing. Like, I could try this and do it. And we did it. And like, we each kind of got to do some cool stuff. And exactly like you said, you wake up one morning after you stop that sprint and you got your breath back and you got your legs back under you, and you're like, man, yeah, like we had something that you just can't replicate.
I think a big part of Hoonigan was it felt like high school, in that, one, we were a bunch of fucking juveniles, but more importantly, like when I go back and I think about like the high school I went to, there was a ton of people in that high school who they were my friends, but I didn't really hang out with them after school, but I really enjoyed seeing them in school. And they were people that I would not have seeked out to be my friends, right? Like
Totally.
there was like the kid, like most of my core friend group in high school were a bunch of kids on the soccer team. I didn't play soccer. I don't know why they became my friends, but like I enjoyed them and I enjoyed spending time with them every day in school. But then, like, you know, as time went on, we just didn't really have the same kind of connection. And I think like the three of us have sort of stayed more in touch than maybe, you know, we have with some of the other guys, partially because we live in the same area.
Yeah.
We have a longer term relationship. Like all of us were friends from the New York day. We have similar interest in cars. We have similar interest in what we want to do with cars, stuff like that. But like Zach's a really good example. I love Zach to death. I enjoy Zach. I spent most of SEMA with Zach this year, and like just I don't even know why it worked out that way until I got sick. But and it's like, but I don't like Zach is one of those people who when I would see him at Hoonigan, I'd be like, oh yeah, let me go like talk to Zach about whatever random thing. He'd be there like just eating like 17 pounds of raw meat while like looking at some new heads he had for his big block. And like Zach and I connected on that, but it becomes this thing where like, I don't want to say it's forced, but it's like, you put a bunch of people in a room and you will.
Well, you all like different stuff,
but you'll find the commonalities with each other.
Yeah,
you know,
like I would invite Zach over to my house when we were having like barbecues, like, you know, kickback style.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Are you okay coming over to hang out? Like, this isn't gonna like, you know, there's not gonna be a vodka slide.
We're not having a foam party. There's no slip and slide with like naked girls.
His like level of fun is so different that like me and Zach hang out all the time. We see each other a lot, but like we don't really chill like nights and weekends because I'm like, he's into like a way different lifestyle than I am. So it's like, and that's kind of the funny thing is like growing up, you were like friends with like people who you share a lot of the common stuff with.
Yeah.
Whereas like at work friends, you're kind of like just paired with people that you like, but like y'all are way different outside. You know?
Like even take someone like John Chase. Like I don't talk to John Chase as much as I should.
Yeah, I wish I did.
He's great. And I had so many good times with John, especially like in the pre-YouTube era where like we did Power Tour and all this stuff. But you know, it's just one of those like it gets diluted and like. But when you're all sitting in the same building, you find reason to like
talk for hours.
Yeah. Like who would put Kakawa on their friend list before you met him?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and even the first 6 months he was there, like he was just this like weird dude. And then like he broke through and you got to meet him and you got to know him. And to me, I think that's the comparison of high school. Like you tend to hang out with people who are outside of like your normal circle. And, and Hoonigan really created that. I will say this though, at least for me, I realized my dynamic was different because I was the boss, but like, I have a better relationship with everybody now than I did during Hoonigan.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm better friends with everybody. Like, there's really no one, I can't think of anyone that there's like beef with, but there definitely was towards the end where there was just that tension. I mean, even you and I had tension towards the end. I think like once that all went away.
But I always say like me and you actually had a really interesting dynamic. And I was like, me and Brian had a very like brotherly relationship and that we can like really fucking argue, but then like still be friends. I think at the end it was really and this is a tangent, but the company wanted to tear apart the friends who existed before the company got bought.
Yeah.
So like they would pit a lot of us against each other, which was whack.
Yeah.
But you know,
and the worst part about that was like the company that we had built was so not that.
No,
Everybody
yeah.
that worked
No
at
one really
Hoonigan
cared.
worked at Hoonigan because they didn't want to work a corporate job where people were trying to snake their way up a ladder or something, where we just wanted to create cool shit.
Yeah.
So when we got bought out, you all of a sudden have these characters that like the only thing that matters to them is their own corporate growth.
Yeah,
And
super
the
whack.
moves that they have to make to do that tear apart the culture of a place
Yeah.
in a huge way.
Yeah, but like just like I'm extending on my point before, it's like crazy. I kind of like try, like it's I saw a quote recently and it was like you're an intern in life. Like you're just always figuring it out.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Wow.
crazy because I look at like I have a good friend, Pat. He's super rich. He sold a company that he built on his own and he lives up in Santa Barbara. And he's like, I have all these friends. He's like, I'm the poorest guy in my neighborhood. Like my friends are like billionaires. He's like, and they still work like 100 hours a week. And he's like, I don't get it. You have more money than anything you could ever need, but you still are on phone calls back to back, 8 to 8 every day. And he's like, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. But I think what happens is like you end up in this weird situation where like post-Hoonigan, you're like, damn, I'm kind of lonely. I don't really have like a ton of friends, but I do know how to make money and I know how to work. So you just like end up like burying yourself in work because you're busy and busyness makes you satisfied. And then I started realizing that I'm like, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Like that's mad empty because like, I don't know. You make money and you're like, you buy shit and you're like, yeah, this isn't even really that cool. So let's move on past that topic because I said it was going to be a bummer. But look,
I think it's a great conversation.
I think a lot of people out there do feel the same way and like are scared to admit that like you're an adult and you feel like fucking lost. So it's like cool for people to be like, oh yeah, these dudes who I watch online like feel the same way.
Yeah. No, and look, I mean, we'll move past it in a second, but like, man, we had like really, really good times, and sometimes you don't realize how good the times are while you're having.
Dude, that's such a cliche, but it's so true.
It's a cliche because it is so real that like you just keep looking at the next and the biggest thing, but you don't realize that at some point like you are at that peak.
We hated filming Daily Transmission, and it was the best fucking time ever. It was such a huge pain in the ass. It was such a massive lift, and then we had to go back and finish our regular jobs. But looking back on it, you were like, my regular job didn't fucking matter. I should have just done the content thing, and it was so fun. Like we got to do such nonsense.
By the way, I'm so happy that you brought this up because forever the fans were like, or the viewers were like, bring back Daily Transmission. And I was like, I can't tell you how much everyone hates this show. Like everyone hated it. And most of the reason was we didn't get to drive. So we were like sitting there just being presenters. And at a certain point, we had done over 300 episodes of it. You get to a point where it's like, how many burnouts can you possibly see? There's a few things that stand out. Like,
so boring.
Like a couple man lines, right? Like the BJ Baldwin one, like Old Smokey, Micah's man line, Literal's man line, Die doing figure eights on the dock. Like, there's a few things that stand out.
A monster truck in the back of Compton.
Yeah, the rest of it, though, was kind of just the same thing.
All right. For all you guys that don't know, back in the day, we wouldn't be excited because a lot of the driving in the yard sucked. The editors did a really good job at making heroes out of regular stuff that didn't look good.
Yeah.
I would always get people who come in, like my connections or something, they would do a shit job driving.
Yeah.
And like look like a total wad.
Yeah.
And they would text me when the video came out and they'd be like, yo, thank you so much for making me like not look like an idiot.
They'd be shocked when the edit came out and they're like, whoa, wait, did I actually do that?
Yeah. Like, and you're like, no, you didn't. But like, we're not in the business of making lame content. You know? Like,
that was what we told everyone because people were always afraid. I'm like, look, we're not in the business of making you look like an idiot. Like, that's just not what we want to do. Unless you act like an idiot. Yeah. But like,
if you want to be an idiot, you can.
Yeah.
Like, there was that kid who totaled his car on the show that one day. Remember he caught the door frame at the S13?
Oh, yeah.
And like, even that, we like kind of made him look like a hero.
And then like the Alpha twins, I forget the oil stain lab guys. Like they were like stoked to kind of own the like they crashed it when it happened. And
they still looked heroic.
But we asked them, we were like, "You cool with this?" And they got a ton of hate from like the purist community, but our community was like, "Okay, you guys are cool." Like weird car, but cool.
Yeah. So like that was like a big thing. It was like you wouldn't be excited because a lot of times it was like the edit was in post.
Mm-hmm.
The magic was in post. You'd be like, So it wasn't that fun to make. But I think the fun BTS that no one knows about is it's like people were like, oh, you guys, I mean, remember we opened the store and people would show up and be like, oh, what are you guys up to today? Is Ken here? And there's just like 7 Model 3s in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And like smart cars. And like no one knew that we filmed that show from 3 p.m. till 7 p.m. on Thursdays only.
Yeah.
So like you would be like in a meeting about like having fucking Andy Dellenbach eating, you know,
Name drop.
eating
Vinny's just out here just
name
name dropping.
eating peanuts and talking while chewing about like selling the Summer of Mayhem or whatever the hell, and then getting out of this meeting and then going and doing burnouts for 5 minutes and then doing emails until 10 o'clock at night. Like, crazy.
At the end of the day, a business is a business. Like you have to make the numbers work to do payroll.
Yeah.
Like there are such boring parts that you have to do. You would sit in these mind-numbing meetings and then have to go put it on.
Right.
You would have to be super excited after just like, and Scotto's just got 7 graphs of like all this crazy shit. And we were just like, oh my God, I'm so burnt.
But the fun parts were really fun.
Absolutely.
The hard parts were really hard. And
Yeah.
I think like that really weighs on people
It
over
does.
time. You know?
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we got to the first line.
Knew it.
I told you.
We're an hour and 18 minutes
Also,
in.
okay, how does this this 12
I thought we were
hours?
12 minutes in at one point. I was like, oh, sick, we're cruising.
only I
So many subjects.
It's like a Da Vinci Code. Only I can read the clock.
God,
Otherwise,
God.
you guys.
Oh my
know
God,
how
that is the
long
Scotto
we're
clock.
here.
That is the Scotto clock. Because in Scotto's mind, this has been 12 minutes.
Yeah, it's only been 12 minutes, guys.
We've cracked the code. Well, let's power run through a couple topics. Like
Yeah.
we'll keep it on point.
So,
Maybe should we just have?
I mean,
should we have Nick keep us on track and give us
No.
like a minute and a half
guys
per
don't
topic?
need or want that. Yeah.
Nick's just letting it burn. The one thing I wanted to get into because we talked about, this was like a conversation we've never talked publicly about, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to talk on it. Is that the 3 of us are supposed to race the Nürburgring 24?
Ooh.
Which, like, I will
It's a
say
gut punch.
was a breaking point, I think, for all 3 of us as to Hoonigan was no longer Hoonigan.
Yeah.
So I'll set the stage for everybody. So we had been working with Hyundai, doing a bunch of stuff with them around N, and we went to the Nürburgring 24-hour race with them. And you guys might remember we went there. It's actually where we met Jimmy Oakes, and Brian, and like, you know, fun event. I love Nürburgring, love that event. And we jokingly said to Hyundai, hey, if you need some Ballast Boys to jump in those cars and race the event for you next year, we're here. And they just kind of looked at us and laughed. And then all of a sudden, a few months later, they're like, you know what? We actually might be interested in you guys doing it. And I'll let Vinny kind of take it from here because I think you know the next part of how it started to come together.
So basically, you can't just do the 24-hour Nürburgring. You need to do a lot of stuff. But we were working with Hyundai a lot, and they saw a lot of value in the audience that we brought them. And they were like, we know you guys aren't really racers, but we see you know how to drive. And obviously the Hoonigan audience is really valuable to us. So maybe we'll put that together. So we worked on this deal for like, honestly, like probably like 2 years.
Yeah.
It felt like.
Yeah,
Like
it was
2
2
years of like trying to
It was a
figure
really
this out.
big deal.
And it was going to be a lot of money. It was a 7-figure deal.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay.
and it was a 20-figure opportunity.
And we came up with insane creative to make this cool. I mean, our whole thing, and it kind of parlays into like why Ron and I did stuff with Hyundai, Brian had a non-compete, and why we had these Elantra ends is we came up with a big campaign, and we were like, we're going to take these we're going to take a stock Hyundai Elantra, literally just put a roll cage in it and brake pads, and we're going to go race like grassroots 24-hour races.
Lucky dog event.
Yeah. And grassroots 24-hour races, get seat time. We're going to get our VLN license. And then 2024, I think it would have been, or maybe 2025. I don't know. We were going to go like build up, do some races, and then go and race the 24-hour of Nürburgring. And it didn't matter how we did. It was the story of like Hyundai making these cool cars to like support the industry of like enthusiast autos and giving these idiots who have no right to be there an opportunity. And that
But
would have
showing the path all along the way, because it's not easy. You need hours of competition driving just to be allowed on that race.
We got so close to it happening that I started to get scared.
we got a contract.
Yeah, like
Hyundai sent us
Not
an
just
agreement.
that, you started dieting.
I started
We all
dieting.
started
We all
dieting.
started like everyone was getting their Sims on.
Yeah.
Like,
Hyundai sent us a deal for $1.2 million. And we were going to do it. And then Wheel Pros didn't sign it.
Yeah, and the reason why, and this is where, like, you know, in hindsight, you look back and you realize an entity like Hoonigan can't operate in a big corporate structure.
No.
Because it all came down to, and it's really something kind of dumb, was like their workers' comp insurance wouldn't allow racing. And for us to go race in the Nürburgring would put their entire company in jeopardy of losing workers' comp. And like that was enough of a reason.
Which makes sense. They have 1,000 employees.
Totally makes
like,
sense for them. But it shifted, you know, everything. We tried to figure out some workarounds. And I think in the end, like they just weren't that interested in figuring out how the three of us went to go racing.
Well, I think it's like an interesting topic because, you know, to us, this was sort of like we were in this weird plateau, kind of like hovering on the downturn, even while we were there.
Yeah.
And because things were getting stale with what we were doing, we weren't allowed to do a lot of the stuff we wanted to do. And I think the company, like what was Wheel Pros, whatever, they were never able to grasp that these people who created this brand and cultivated this audience, like need to do this style nonsense. To them, they were like, we get it. You guys want to go have fun. We're not going to rewrite our rule book for you to have fun. And it's like, yeah, we want to have fun, but like this stuff is what makes the brand.
You would always say we were not actors. We were never actors.
Yep.
The stuff that you would see on screen that we were excited about, we would have to actually be excited about. You couldn't fake the funk.
And
and the audience is really smart. Like they see through that. They see through if you're not into something.
The problem when Hoonigan got bought was that when you get bought by a non-media company, and I'm sure you dealt with this a lot, Brian was like our knight in shining armor in the battlefield's front line, mixing all sorts of genres of war here. But you can't quantify value of sentiment.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
People liking what you make, you can't be like, oh, they clicked this link and bought this stuff.
Yeah.
For the most part. Sure, you could see your UTM on YouTube or whatever, but you can't quantify sentiment. So to them, they were like, make the show that does the views that we spend the money on and it's easy to make. And you're like, that's just not like how we built the brand. Like,
so you just become this versus that, the company.
yeah. And Brian literally used to fight tooth and nail for budget to do projects that made no sense. On paper, right?
What's crazy
like,
is that not even that they would make sense. They would almost sometimes break even and maybe sell some gear, but they weren't bringing the numbers.
You could attest to that. They made no sense to like the CEOs.
Yeah,
and
no,
stuff.
it's
like,
a hard thing to sell
for
to
sure.
someone where you're like, wait, so the three of you guys are gonna go, like you're gonna be gone for like most of the year. Like you have to rent a house in Germany, because you're there so much during the Nürburgring. And that is going to somehow make enough views. Like, is that? And they just look at it and go, "Are those Gymkhana numbers?" And you're like, "No, they're not Gymkhana numbers."
Yeah.
And then you look at this versus that, and this versus that was such a double-edged sword for Hoonigan because it was the most consistent viewership we ever had. It was bigger than Daily Transmission.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point, it was averaging 1 million views a week.
Crazy.
It saved the company for a while.
It was
through COVID.
It was ripping.
It was one of the big
it worked
things.
really well. And we built a whole new audience off of it. Still to this day, I'll be like walking and someone will be like, yo, you're that dude from the drag race show.
Yeah.
It's like they don't even know Hoonigan. They just know it's a drag race show. Like it built a new audience. But it became so successful and it was successful both bandwidth and financially.
By every
and
Excel
view.
metric.
Every Excel metric,
Yeah.
it checked all the boxes. I don't know if it checked the sentiment box because
but
we
think
were
about-
no longer free to have banter, to be ourselves. We were actually kind of back, I hate to say, in a little bit of the Daily Transmission role where we were hosting other people doing something.
Right. But remember, like early days, Power Tour.
Yep.
Company paid for us to go to Power Tour to expand us into the hot rod, like muscle car market. But
Pre-YouTube.
we didn't do like surveys and stuff until way later about like what cars you drove and stuff.
Yeah.
So Brian had to be like, it's worth it for us to go because it opens us up to a new market. But then we do it and we make content and it's cool and we like do make a presence there. But there was no way to say like more hot rod people like us now.
Sure.
But it did expand the brand.
There was a spread in Hot Rod
It was
magazine
super
called
important.
like the Hoonigans on Power Tour, and that was enough to be like, we did this, and Ken was like, okay, that's cool. Like
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that was what I mean. Like you used to fight for this thing that you couldn't really say is like making us money, but that's the shit that made people really like the brand.
Yeah. But I think it goes for everything. I mean, I think it goes for you, like your current content. Like you have built what seems to be like a good, strong, loyal group of people who love your stuff.
Yeah.
You're not doing 500,000 views every video, but like you got people who are like, they really
Diehard.
They're diehard and they care about you. They care about your stuff.
Yeah.
And like this goes back to, my Foster Huntington conversation, which is like, do you want to mean, a little to a lot, or do you want to mean a lot to a little? And I think that there was this moment where in the beginning, Hoonigan meant a lot to a little. And then there was this weird moment where we meant a lot to a lot.
Yeah.
Like it was small. It didn't last for a long time,
Yeah.
but we had this moment where people were just like, it felt this
It
peak
had
moment.
so much momentum.
Yeah.
And everything you guys did was like on the back of that, and you guys just kept killing it back to back.
You
to
say
back
that,
to
you
back.
say you guys, because you feel like that was before you came.
That was right around that time, yeah.
But
Because
you came to like Scumbag Labs. I feel like Scumbag Labs was pretty peak
I
moment.
came at the tail end of like daily transmission just being like raw vlog. And when I came on is when things just started getting a little more structured to make it a little more of a company, right? Like sell more teas, like sell more partners in. Like you guys built the audience, you built the brand, and then you had to build the business side.
It's funny because you say that, and I think Brian and I were talking about this recently, is like we, in a lot of ways, were like paving the way for automotive YouTube. So we were doing things and like kind of figuring it out. So like, for example, we were coming up in YouTube with a show when YouTube was a lot of vlogs.
Yeah.
And so then we were creating like premium content, like Build and Battle, right? And they wouldn't do as well because the audience really wanted grit and vlogs. But then now you look at it and like the OG vloggers still do it and they do well, but like new channels and stuff are making like almost TV level content.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, wow, when we were doing that in 2016, 2017, like 2017, 2018, like YouTube just wasn't really ready for it.
Yeah.
You know, because like you came in and we were doing Build and Battle, we were doing Scumbag Labs, we were doing like pretty like highly produced shows with like big budgets and like creative.
An
and, like,
Amazon documentary on the side.
Yeah.
But for me, and I still stand this way, like I'd rather be early than successful. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather be there and doing it in the early days than I care to be the most
I mean,
successful.
that's your
That's your
project
thing.
guy.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it's also just the creative piece of me. Someone once asked me,
Like if someone came out with an AE86 VR6 ITB 5-speed whatever swap kit, you'd
I'd be
no
over it.
longer
I'd
be
be done.
interested.
Just the kit existing, not the build.
just,
No,
the,
just
kit.
the kit.
Even just like in CAD.
Oh, man,
but
so
like,
real.
Someone once asked me this. They said, they were talking about like, how do you feel about other people who've done shows like your shows that are like way more successful? Like they do way better, right? And like they were meaning some donut stuff. And I said, I have no problem with it because like we had to like bushwhack the path. I expect the person who comes down the path after
Always.
us to grade it, and then the people to come after that to pave it, and then the people to come after that to put up lights,
And also
and
no
then the
one-
people after that to do all these things and make it nicer and nicer and nicer and make it a better path, because I don't care to be on that path anymore.
Yeah.
I want to go find another path.
And also, like,
Or
I think
beat
like a
another
lot
path.
of people innovated it on their own too. Like, you can look at like, I remember when Bumper to Bumper came out, and I was like, this is a better show than Build Biology in some ways. I think Hoonigan understood cars more and what was cool about the car, but they did one key thing better than we did, which was James, being a strong host, talked about the car. We let people who oftentimes could be really fucking dry and boring be on camera. And that one change was like, oh wow, that's actually pretty impactful.
Also, the fact that we were such already at the time, always just kind of super core car dudes, and we would just speak that internal language where Donut did a really good job of opening the door to not as core enthusiasts.
They were way more top of funnel. We
Way
were
more
like
top of funnel.
We were like kind of deep funnel, like down into the
Just
weeds.
look at our titles from that time. It's
We
like
were-
1JZ swapped S13, shreds the yard. What does that mean
And
to
then
somebody?
on content, we're like, oh, you run a .82 hot side? Oh, that's cool. Why didn't you go T4? And like, if you don't know about it, you're like,
At
what
one
the
point,
hell are these
we
guys
were
saying?
literally a band you probably don't know of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's a band you probably never heard of.
Yeah.
Like, we were that for a while.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We are now only 1 hour behind. We're only 1 hour behind.
Better than we thought.
Yeah, we're
chilling.
We're going good. You guys want to move?
We didn't
into
even finish out the whole N24 story. But,
We finished. It was pretty good.
I mean, in the end,
it just didn't end up happening. Vin and I raced some SRO.
Well,
It
yeah,
ended
when we
up
all
being
left
cool.
Hoonigan, Hyundai was like, "Hey, we're still down to do this. We can't pay you $1 million, but like we're down to do it." And Brian couldn't join, so that's how it kind of ended up that Ron and I got to go.
so
racing.
basically, they got to go race SRO. This guy got a Pikes Peak record, and I got to drive a Santa whatever for 6 months.
You got some Ionic
pretty
5N
good.
time.
I did get to drive the Ion again before anyone else did
Yeah.
up at Laguna, which
Yeah.
is cool. Yeah.
Hyundai's a fun brand to work with. You
They're
know.
awesome. Love the
If,
guys there.
Yeah.
They're doing
team over
really
there.
cool stuff.
And the thing I will tell everyone is if you asked me if you would buy a Volkswagen, a new VW over a new Hyundai, I would buy a new Hyundai.
Dude, we had the Elantra
Which is crazy to
Ns.
say as a Volkswagen guy.
We had the Elantra Ns. They were sick. Great cars. I actually like all the cars Hyundai makes. You know, people would often ask like, "Oh, why do you guys sell the Hyundais?" And I was like, "Well, I sold mine because like we weren't going to go racing anymore, and the whole plan was to use them as like practice cars."
Yeah.
And I was like, Hyundai is like the N line or N, because N line is a different thing, but like the N models are cool for like, I think more entry level people. Like it's not exactly my car, but I support it because I think they're good.
But if you're not building cars and you need something that's great at daily driving, but also you could take to Laguna and throw down a very respectable time with AC and then drive it all the way back home with no trailer. What other front wheel drive car?
Dude,
is gonna
they
do that,
rip.
right?
They're
It's
super cool. But
so good.
same way I wouldn't buy an FL5 Type R
Right.
is like the same way if I have to choose, like I'm not going to drive the Elantra N. Like
Yeah.
it's not that I think it's a bad car. It's
No.
just not really me.
Yeah. All right. Moving in to the next pilot. So we did the first one. We did a nice, succinct 30 minutes. And when I say 30 minutes, I mean
Whatever that.
thing. It just started blinking as if it knew. But yeah, so it's been an hour and a half. So now we're going to do another succinct 30 minutes.
No, keep it tight.
Keep it tight. This is actually, so part of this whole concept for Very Vehicular is that this is like a launching pad for other shows I want to do.
Shocking.
Right? What?
Shocking. Don't derail. Stay on topic.
Let's do it.
So this is called firing order.
Okay.
The group assembled right here is called the rotating assembly because we will always bring in different groups of people to put together a list. So it's fucking listicles. Let's go. I told you guys what the topic was. Hopefully you did your homework. It's going to be the top 3 cars we ever built at Hoonigan. This does not include Ken cars. So it doesn't include like Hoonicorn, things like that, because that's too hard.
Yeah.
It's a whole different world. So it's the top 3 cars we ever built, from shit car being our first car all the way to whatever was the last car.
Cool.
Ron, you can start.
Okay. I want to say no particular order, but this is actually kind of in order for me. Donk,
Okay.
Rolls Royce, and Indy truck. The Donk, because I genuinely feel that the Donk was the most complete build that we did. A. B, it took a bit, but we got there, I feel like. B, it was like, we were the only ones that could really do it. And it sounds super pretentious to say, but like Donut built a Donk and, well, they built a bubble. And
Did
it
they?
just, yeah, they did. It was like a whatever, you know, it was a thing. They did
After we built our donk?
after, yeah. And I think it showed up to FD at some point. Maybe this is a fever dream, but somebody could back me up on this. We could look
I'd
it up.
never heard of it.
But for us, like, confirmed. There we go. So you spent so much time in the donk world. And when I joined on at 0 to 60 magazine, rides was like the bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
And I really started to, you know, understand and respect donk culture and everything. So I felt like we had, through you, an in to do a real actual donk build, a donk story. We all built it together. Like, I did the steering column. You were doing suspension. You were grinding on the fender weld.
I
You
learned
were
to
doing
weld
motor.
on
You
that
learned to
project.
Yeah,
weld on
same.
that project. All of us came together, and then we fired up that big block, and just like the blower surge that thing would have. John Chase hand painted things on the blower belt. Every time we drove that thing, people would just lose their mind. Big burnouts. We set the brakes on fire. It went to the UK. JP Performance had it for a while. For me, it was so oddball, but we made it work and we made it part of our identity that, like, We did a 26-inch BBS rep. That's crazy.
Yeah. Donk was a good build. It's funny because like the Donk's not on my list because
So
I feel
let's go through his list first.
Okay.
Because the idea is let's go through his list. So you got Donk first.
Yep, Donk. And then
Rolls is second.
The Rolls. We made a Rolls Royce actually drift and drift well. Like I got to drive that thing at balcony. Like it ripped. Like 4 people in it. It would do lap after lap. We did a demo in Atlantic City with that thing. We had that dual handbrake where you could lock the fronts if you could push it forward and then traditional handbrake pulling back. A lot of cool tech on that thing. We went through a lot of motors for whatever dumb reason, but when it worked, that thing was so fun. And then last one, Indie Truck is like, to me, that was peak collaborating with a company that was doing cool stuff. Honda gave us an IndyCar motor and their IndyCar team and resources. And these guys would come and help us like wire this thing in, and we put it in a ridge line.
yeah,
Which
HPD was so cool, man.
they were so cool to work with. And like their designers put down the pencils for designing whatever like next NSX concept or the next Odyssey to help us make the bodywork for this thing. And we went to the design studio, like, wow, we put an IndyCar engine in a car with their help. And Ramon Grosjean drove it at thermal. To me, that was a moment of like, dude, this company is like,
Yo,
this is some cowboy shit.
as the person who like did the deals,
Yeah.
like when you come up with something as ridiculous as that,
That was a crazy
and
idea.
like you pitch it to a company and then they're down,
Yeah.
you're like, wow, we're on some shit.
Because you and I teamed
Like-
up on that whole project from start to finish.
The fact that like you can just go to Honda HPD and be like, yeah, no, we want to put this in this fucking thing, and they're like into it, and then you like they pay you to do it. It was like
They had the balls to do it.
insane,
They put the budget behind it and trusted us.
and we
They
did it.
They dictated nothing.
Yeah.
They were just like, we just need it to be like a modern chassis and the IndyCar motor, and that's it.
yeah, crazy.
Yeah. So
Purely
those are my
insane.
top 3.
All right. So now mine and your job is to pick the best of his 3. You can be included because only one moves forward.
Easy.
Okay.
Rolls Royce. So I said Donk didn't
wasn't
make it onto
expecting
my
that.
list
Okay.
because I feel personally let down by the Donk because I thought we were going to use it more, but it really probably only got like 7 street miles. Like we never really used it. It never got like mechanically sorted enough.
Okay.
But it was cool. I love the Donk.
So I'll tell you this: I hate the IndyCar build or Indy truck build, and I'll tell you
Me
why.
too.
Because for me, I feel like that was the ultimate jumping the shark for Hoonigan.
I agree.
Like I think as a person who likes to build really crazy things, and I enjoy that. I appreciate the project. I really appreciate Honda for trusting us.
Yes.
That.
Yeah.
But in the end, we built something that the audience could never build. We lost like any level of relatability with the audience, and we couldn't drive.
Not only could we not drive it, we could not start it on our own. It required a warm-up sequence that for an Indy car. So I
Yeah.
agree. Like the Indy truck was sick. Like it was
Yeah.
an insane flex of us being able to make something like that.
Yeah.
And it came out really cool looking. But like in terms of jumping the shark, we built a car that we
Right.
couldn't drive and couldn't even start. So we
So
were
it's like-
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Soupy, Grim, and the boys. Like
Insane
they did an
build.
Yeah.
amazing job on that. Honda and like what was the dude from Honda who helped us? I forget his
there's
name.
so many.
Yeah, I just want to shout them all out.
Andrew Salzano, Kelvin.
Kelvin,
Yeah.
John Whiteman.
Yeah.
like,
the
the
whole crew, like everybody was so good, and it was such an amazing project. And I think if we were like an agency that was hired to build that for Honda,
Yeah.
it would have made a lot of sense. But it was such a
It was far out.
It was such a tangential
Yeah.
direction for what Hoonigan kind of was known for doing. And I know, look, there was an audience that loved the build. And I think
Yeah.
they really enjoyed it. But when it was done, it was like we built a car that we
yeah.
So
actually
you guys
can't
make
drive.
a great point. And I think from a content side, and you guys are much more builders than I am.
I mean,
right?
we helped
So
ruin the internet.
from a content and builder side, I do agree.
Yeah.
For me, the pride came from a complete brand side. Is that this company that started just making Facebook videos and just a handful of T-shirts had the pull
Yeah,
to be
no,
able
it's-
to work
it's-
with Honda.
it's super sick.
That's where I
It's
come
super
from on
sick.
in
that.
the industry
But
side.
I agree on the content side.
In the industry side of it, it was such a like feather in the hat,
Yeah.
right? To be like, we went and worked with
Yeah.
Honda Racing, we built this amazing thing, and look at how crazy it is, and like, who would think to build this?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Insane.
part of it was good. I think from a brand side, it was a weird. It was weird.
And
Well, we were
I think
still-
we killed it. We killed that project, and that you said earlier that like we were kind of on a downturn of internal sentiment, right, at the brand,
Yeah.
and I think you could feel that through the content. We didn't do a really good service content wise to that because we didn't follow the whole build. We only did 8 episodes on that, which really like if we had actually cared enough to do a day to day today and we were all a lot more involved in it, I think it would have been more of a win. But at the end of the day, you're right.
Still such a sick project though. Crazy.
Unrelatable to the regular like car person.
All right, so my top in his list is the Dunk, and
Of course.
like yes, I'm connected to it, but the Rolls is also really important for me. I mean, the background of the Rolls is that that's actually a vehicle that ACP and I built for a Discovery Channel show.
That's right.
That like had a horrible budget. They thought we'd build the whole car in a week. We like thrashed it together. It was classic bad television, right? I mean, it was the era of just bad. Let's just paint it or put a wrap on it so it looks different. And,
Sub in somebody else's tire squeals.
Yeah, and we cheated every corner on it. And the fact that we got to like right that wrong later on was really cool to me. Of all of the cars that we ever built, like if I had to choose one to keep, like if you're like, hey, you could have any one of these cars that we built, which one would it be? It would probably be the Rolls because I think it's the best built thing we built.
Yeah.
Right? Like the
you
Donk,
didn't say Scumbug.
Scumbug's on the list, but it's also like the Scumbug's worth like $5,000. So like I could like, get that, whatever.
Yeah.
Scumbug has a spot for me, but it's an honorable mention. But for me, like the Rolls is probably one of the coolest things we built, but the Donk, we needed the Donk. Like I don't want to get like that, but it was the middle of the pandemic. It was actually I think it was early pandemic. We weren't seeing each other. It was the one day of the week that we all got to get together to work on it together. And I feel like it was this weird out there project that all of you looked at me being like, we're going to build what?
100%.
And it was definitely one of those like, oh, it's another Scotto folly.
And it first showed up and it was brown and the Landau was just gross.
And it had, remember the wheels it had? We realized that the wheels had
wait, the originals or
no, not the originals. We got a set of wheels to throw on it.
Yeah.
Just to
like
mock
rollers.
it up.
Yeah.
And we looked at the design and we realized that the design may or may not have been the Japanese Manji logo, which also happens to be the logo of the Third Reich.
Oh, I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No.
So we took the center caps off.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
We like looked at it. We're like, did
yeah.
anyone ever realize that the wheel design is a swastika?
Holy crap.
I love it.
And
I
we're
don't remember that
I
at
love
all.
his New York accent. Swastika.
It's like a sticker, right?
Yeah.
But so we immediately took the center caps off. Anyway,
Oh my lord.
that car, like I don't know, I just feel like maybe not so much like if you were to put the end product next to the Rolls, maybe the Rolls is better. But for me, the Donk was the last peak moment for the crew.
Yeah.
Like I felt like we all really got back together again. Like that was like real vibes.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be there. Like even Hurt was like welding. Like on builds, Hurt was always the guy who wanted to just kind of stand in the background. But like we were all there. We were really enjoying each other's time. It felt like peak friendship like of everybody there.
Totally.
Yeah,
and then when it was done, we made it ours. Like we built a donk, but it very much felt like the Hoonigan donk.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like all the other donks that you see at like, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it's not as nice as the stuff that's showing up at the Rick Ross car show, but like,
I don't know. It was pretty top tier.
but it was rad. It was super cool.
One-off
and,
carbon
like,
roof. Like
yeah,
all
and
that,
like at least we beat the shit out of it a few times. I do agree. We didn't drive it enough. And
I
that's
just felt personally hurt we didn't use it more.
I know,
but
yeah, I know.
That
Yeah,
car
I know.
that car came out really nice.
Yeah. So for me, it would be that. So now you get to choose. If of the Ron pick that moves to the top list, I picked Rolls. He picked Donk.
No. I picked Rolls.
I'm sorry. I picked Rolls. You picked Donk.
What?
No, I picked Donk. You picked Rolls.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
Now I'm confused.
Donk or Rolls
For the top.
for the top of your list. We'll move it forward. Realize it may repeat itself later. But
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, that's really hard. Final version rolls. Yeah.
In the like off-white.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
because when you were like, oh, you should color match the wheels on it. We did
Oh, it
like to
looks
the
so
body
sick.
paint.
The beige,
Yeah.
the like beige,
The cream white.
was
Yeah,
so
yeah,
good.
yeah,
It was
that
so
was
good,
pretty
so
sick.
good. All right, Vin. Top 3.
All right, mine is in order. Number 1 favorite car, and it is a little bit of a contradiction of what I just said about the Donk, but the 632 Camaro.
Okay.
I love that car. We got to design it hand in hand with Chevrolet Performance.
Yep.
And like, I think the body kit that we made for it was like
Pretty sick.
perfectly not internet. It was no wide body. It was like super subtle, but aggressive.
It was
and
also
cool.
3D printed, which was really early. then.
Yeah,
Now
that was
everyone's 3D
Shout out
printing kits. but-
Lee
Coleman.
Coleman for just putting up with.
That was
my
insane.
God.
Worst 3D printing. The car would shake the fucking thing loose.
But it was
So
early, man.
But
Nobody was 3D printing
that-
kits then.
that car looked cool. It
Yeah.
was like understated, but like rad. The engine looked insane. Like the sound of it was nuts.
It
Like,
was
I just love that
in
car.
the SEMA booth with Chevy.
Also, and we had
So
the
sick.
matching 3500 dually,
That's right.
which was
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
And for anyone who doesn't know, growing up in my bedroom, I had a picture of a red 3rd gen IROC above my bed.
You know, you could have just told them you were Italian.
Yeah.
You didn't have to
For
go into
anyone
all
out
that
there who
detail.
doesn't know, I'm Italian from Queens. So, yeah. So no, I love that car. It was so cool. But again, just another fucking YouTube car that we built and never really got to drive because it
Yeah.
sucked. It had too much power. We never dialed in the chassis. I drove
much
it
power,
once
not
at this
enough grip.
first that, and I thought I was going to die.
Also, 3rd gen Camaro, almost no matter what you do to it, is just unless you're Detroit speed.
Yeah, I was gonna say Detroit Speed built a
like
really
you
good
are,
one.
it's just going to be a terrible car.
Yeah, we just needed to spend time like dialing in it. But
Yeah.
I love that car. Second one's the Rolls. Dude, Rolls. Shout out Soupy and the boys. Crazy build, carbon floors, fucking cup holders. Like
The fab
whole
work
thing.
on the transmission tunnel with
Everything.
like suede and aluminum and like
Yeah.
all the stuff they
so
did.
sick.
Art
And it
Morrison
looked cool.
chassis. Yeah.
Last iteration,
Yeah,
sick
yeah.
wheels, good
Yeah.
stance, like the whole thing, really complete package car. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
Although I hate now, current day, I hate making things that aren't supposed to be drift cars. Like it's over, guys. Don't do it anymore. It's,
But in the era, it worked.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Third, shit car. Nothing is more fun than a $500
Yeah.
car that we bought off a guy in a trench coat
Yeah.
and literally dollar for dollar had the most fun anyone has ever had with a car in history. Like that was insane.
It birthed our YouTube brand. Like Hoonigan already existed.
Yeah.
but Shit
Yeah.
car is what catapulted
That car
Mm.
was so fun. I learned how to do donuts in that
Yeah.
car.
Mm.
Like
So
We
many
had
people
so
drove
much
that
fun.
car.
Even before we did, remember we came home with it in the rain and we were just throwing it as hard as we could in the parking lot just to try to do 180s with it
I'm
because
like-
it had an open
Yeah.
diff and like was barely running.
I don't really like missile cars. Like I think that era has passed us, but there's something to be said about having a car that means nothing to you
Yeah.
and driving it with no remorse.
Yeah.
Like that man and machine connection of just
To the point where-
disrespecting the mechanicals to
I feel like you were almost kind of chasing that feeling with your free 36 a little later.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like just no remorse,
Yeah.
driving it hard.
Rattle canning
It
the
was
whole
just
thing
so
yellow.
fun.
Yeah.
Like shit car was fun. We had a lot
Yeah.
of fun with it. Like some of
Yeah.
the best memories of daily transmission were with shit car.
Shit
like,
car's great.
Yeah.
I mean, Shit Car July 4th edition
Insane.
was insane. I go back and I watch that and I think, yeah, this company was never going to be able to go
There's a-
corporate. like just the reality of how dangerous that
I
all
just remember
was.
on one-
Scotto hanging out the window, like it was
On
nuts.
one episode, Hurt was just trying to set the airbag off with a sledgehammer, which is the
I
stupidest
remember that.
thing
Yeah,
ever.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's just like
Where's the sensor?
it was just like the dumbest time.
Yeah.
And it was so fun. And like, I don't know, shit car will live forever in my heart as
sure.
like such a special car.
I talked about this with someone else, like the reason why
Also that we called it shit car and we were like, we can't call it shit car. You can't have the name of a car be a curse.
Teague was like, do not call it Shit Car.
And we
It'll
called it
demonetize us. We were like, but it's
So
Shit
anyway,
Car.
we're here with Shit Car today.
Yeah. Don't whatever you don't call it Shit Car. What, Shit Car? Every time it would demonetize
Oh
us.
my
Every time.
God.
Like, fucking Shit Car. Yeah. But there was something special about Shit Car because of the time. Because we tried to revive Shit Car multiple times and
Yeah.
it never worked. And the reason is
Its death was the off-road version.
no, but it's not even that. Its death was all the everyone else getting their own project cars. Because it was like the neighborhood bicycle there, but there was no other bicycle.
Right.
Like it was the only car we had to play with. Hurt had a drift car, but it was always broken.
Yeah.
So like shit car became the car everyone was allowed to drive, which means that everyone was interested in fixing it.
Yeah.
So like when Adam crashed it and then Hurt crashed it, like we were all like kind of mad, but like enjoyed them crashing it. But then we all helped pull it back out together.
Right.
When we finally did the off-road shit car, which I agree was a bad idea,
Horrible.
but at the time I think like we didn't need another drift car because everybody was building their own
were
drift
so
cars.
many
already.
You know,
Right.
like
We had
everyone had
Shark Card at the
their
time,
own
too.
stuff. Exactly.
And it was YouTube. So we were just like doing nonsense for the
Trying to
sake
do
of
dumb
nonsense.
stuff.
you know?
Yeah.
But even then, I remember
Yeah.
nobody wanted to work on the car.
Yeah.
In the beginning, everybody was down to like stay after hours to figure out why it wasn't working.
Yeah.
To deal with Bill Caswell for 3 days as he
It
removed
also-
like 97 pounds of wiring.
That
from
car,
the car.
had two, in my opinion, of the most iconic non-Ken Hoonigan photos. The first one, Vin doing donuts with that like really slow pan and your foot hanging out and the door open.
No door.
And the other one was that SEMA where we blew up the engine with nitrous and the fireball.
Oh, yeah.
I think JR sang.
Is that when we had
Got
the
that one.
exhaust going over the hood?
Yeah.
Yeah. Boso style. Yeah.
I don't even know if that's postal style. That was just scumbag style.
Yeah.
That shit was sick.
Super iconic.
All right, so Rolls has already moved on. So now it's the 632 and shit car.
What do you? I mean,
which would you pick of those two?
Do you get to keep it or like favorite build?
out of 632 and shit car?
Yeah, if we got to move them forward, because everyone's gonna get one thing from
You
their
have to
list
move shit car forward. It's just I love the 632, and the 632 was really really close. Again, another build that Vin and I really closely collabed on. But the 632 and the Rolls kind of live in the same tier, and the Rolls is just barely a step ahead of it.
I do sort of agree because the Rolls was like an actual car.
Yeah.
The Camaro never made it past the
Yeah.
the YouTube build and then like static display.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you remember?
Which is sad, but
Do you remember that glove company was like they sponsored our stuff? I don't remember what it was.
WTD.
Doesn't really.
Yeah.
Yeah, WTD. Yeah.
And they were like, we really need a SEMA car.
Oh yeah, I
And you
remember.
were like, you can have Scotto's RWB or shit car. And he said it as a joke. And they were like, we'll take shit car.
Dude,
And then we told people
to
on
stand
Instagram
on the
that they
roof.
could stand on the car. And they said that there was such a line of people coming out to just
I don't even
jump
think
on
we said
shit
it on
car.
Instagram. I think we were just walking around. People were like, "Are shit car really here?" And we were like,
Yeah, go
Yeah,
stand
they're
on-
like, "Can we take a picture with us?" Like, go stand on the roof.
Took
Yeah.
And like
SEMA by
literally,
storm.
there were so many pictures of people just standing on top of the
$500
car, and
Yeah.
you're like, "This is insane."
Yeah.
Oh, that was so cool.
All right. Shit car moves forward. All right, my list. And I had a variable for the last one because I figured mine would be a little redundant.
No, your show, our rules. 3 cars, Brian.
Well, but
Your show, our rules.
this fucking feels like Hoonigan all over.
Man, this really is. This is an old school vibe.
All right, so for me, I had the donk. Right?
Of course.
Donk on the
I knew
list.
that would be your top.
I had Shark Cart.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell
for
you
sure.
why Shark Cart versus Shit Car is because we lost the plot with Shit Car, and Shark Cart's still cool right now. Like if I opened this door and we had Shark Cart to go drive in at Apple Valley, you'd be like, yeah, fuck, let's go
Brian,
fucking
you're good
do it.
at analogies, or well, both of you guys are. What is the analogy for Shark Cart? Because it is the ugliest, stupidest looking thing ever. That's so embarrassing to be seen with, but driving it, unparalleled fun.
So why I think
Dude, yes. Yeah. The first time we supercharged it, I remember getting back in my street Evo at the time and thinking that a boost pipe had popped off. And it only dynoed at 275
was that
to
after
the
you
wheels.
crashed it?
No. This is the other Evo. RS.
No, he's talking about the Miata.
And so
didn't you
the
crash
Miata.
the Shark Cart?
Oh yeah, I crashed.
Everyone
shit out of
crashed. It was so
Yeah.
sick.
And that thing was
Wait, you also crashed Shit Car when it had
Fast.
the SR in it, right?
Yeah.
First
day.
run out,
Oh, yeah.
sick. Okay.
Yeah, into an RV. It was Shark Cart was fast,
Dude, so
it
fun.
was fast. It's super maneuverable and like pretty fucking durable for what it was. Shark Cart was magical,
Dude, that car was insanely fun to drive. I just
Insanely
hated
fun.
looking at it.
The thing about it that I loved was it went from a car we cared so little about. That
Yeah.
$200 Miata we hated.
Yeah.
You did the like
No mercy,
no
reverse.
mercy,
No.
reverse.
No. That's a neutral drop thing. I did the seesaw burnout.
Seesaw burnout.
Seesaw.
That's it.
First
Seesaw
gear
burnout.
reverse. First gear reverse. That was sick.
Yeah.
And then it became sort of not only a hero, but it also became the car that so many people learned to drift on.
Yeah.
Like not just internal people, but like people would come by and be like, "Oh yeah, you want to learn to
We had
drive
an
an 8-year-old? An
8-year-old learned how to drive manual and then did donuts like 10 minutes later.
It became that car.
Yeah.
And I know shit car is more iconic to the fan base, but there's a reality that shit car had like a small window of working properly that we all remember. But shark car had a longer life of
it's so
actually
funny.
being a pretty good car.
I have such a bad memory that I didn't even remember. Like it didn't even register on my list.
Bro, when you said 632, I was like, oh, I forgot about that.
That was a great build.
It sounded really good.
Which I forgot, man. I thought about this and I forgot to say it just because I love shitting on it. But I was going to say my 2 top favorite builds come from the worst time of Hoonigan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 621 was peak. TSS wasn't it for me.
It's really interesting.
Yeah. But we won't talk about it. Let's get to Scotto's list.
All right. So, Donk,
Yeah.
Shark Cart, and then I had a variable on the last 2 because I knew it was going to repeat.
us.
So I'm going to throw in the variable. I had rolls on the list. But it's already moved forward.
Yeah.
So the variable for me was Scumbug.
Yeah.
And Scumbug, I don't think was a great build by any means, but
The story was incredible.
It was the thing that brought us into the world of telling adventure stories, and I just kind of loved it. It
but
was
also,
just simple.
I think Hoonigan had such a unique way of doing things. Because do you remember why we bought that? We had to go.
Because
We had to go
do a BFG
Yeah,
story with
we had-
Bill Caswell, and Bill Caswell didn't show up to the race.
So literally the day
Amazing.
before leaving, we were like, this might not happen. What do we do? So Brian was like, let's buy a car and go drive Baja.
Of course.
So me and him scour the internet, find a car, go and buy it.
In like the hood.
The dude won't show up. He won't come to the door. We're like looking at other ones in front of his house. Find another one, go buy it, bring it back. The boys, I think Danger Dan just started like 2 days ago. Stays all night, welds a fucking light bar to the top of it, and then we take it to Baja. Like that was such a fun and incredible moment of like anything. Because I used to call us like the cockroaches of the industry in the positive way of like nothing could kill Hoonigan because it was like any problem could come up and we will come up with a solution that not only works, but is like pretty good, you know? And then we created this like hero, like impromptu, no creative
Zero
meetings
plan.
before. We were literally like, this is what we're going to fucking do. And we did it. And then we rewrote a whole idea about what we were going to do. We went and did it. It was like
Steering wheel
insane.
fell off while driving it. It was crazy.
One of the most
first one.
fun trips I've ever been on in my life. Yeah.
Yeah, we found that amazing spot south of San Felipe on the water.
Which
like,
I'll tell the very quick
I thought there
story.
was whales. Do you remember that?
No, Zach.
I thought it was a
remember the
whale.
story.
I was like, is there a whale outside? Sounds like a whale. And it was Zach snoring.
No. This is
No,
you're
it was
remembering it
Memo. It was
opposite.
Memo snoring?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, dude! It was so that trip. Scumbug rules. Yeah.
Scumbug for the feels.
Yeah.
Even though I did it, I always enjoyed driving it, but like it was whatever of a car. But yeah,
It was a very acquired taste to
Yeah.
drive.
All right, so
As in shitty.
you guys get to pick from that group: Donk, Shark Cart, Scumbug. What moves forward?
Scumbug.
Oh, I thought, wait, where'd Rolls go?
Well, Rolls is already on. Okay,
Oh.
Rolls and Shit Car have already moved into the finals.
Okay.
Hey
Okay,
Ron.
each one of us move one forward.
Ron, did you ever watch the show we made on Hoonigan called Circle Jerks?
I did,
So,
yeah. That was
for anyone out there,
yeah.
OG viewers. We had a game called Circle Jerks. You remember it? It had a rule book that made literally no sense.
12,000.
Well, we're into that right now because you're like, what car moves forward, and we don't even know what move forward is.
it all makes sense here.
Okay, I will repeat this, and we're gonna have an on-screen graphic for this.
I may just be really dumb.
On-screen graphic.
Same.
Ron, from Ron's list, the Rolls moved forward. From Vinny's list, Shit Car moved forward.
Okay. And now
My
this
list
it makes
is
total
the
sense.
Donk, Shark Cart, and Scumbug.
Mm.
You guys get to fight over which one you think should
Oh,
move
okay.
forward. I'll have my input on it.
Okay.
but- so does Donk move forward? Does Shark Cart move forward? Or does Scumbug move forward? And I think you also have to look at the total list. Rolls and Shit Car are already on the list.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's Donk.
Yeah, I would go Scumbug just for, I think that it was just a really fun time at the brand. I think Donk was definitely a way better build. I mean, they're like, it's like comparing apples and like raisins, but hate raisins.
Yeah. Do you like raisins and oatmeal cookies?
No, man. Two things that should change in the world is raisins and chocolate chips swap places.
Yeah. I'm back in that.
Yeah.
In every situation.
Yeah, in every situation.
Imagine how good like bran flakes or corn flakes, whatever the one is that
It's
comes
so much
with
better.
raisins, like
So
if
much
it
better.
came with chocolate chips.
Yeah.
So much better.
Another one is like walnuts should go fuck itself in banana bread.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. I'm all right. With
I'm
that.
less mad at that, more into the raisins.
Yeah, I could go
Like
either way. on
sometimes
that.
you get a really good walnut and it just kind of falls apart. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not
This
bad.
is the podcast.
But you know
nice
what's
roast.
dope in banana bread?
Chocolate
chips.
Yo, so much better. So much better.
Let's go.
Okay, so by the way, this is another
This
pod.
is a real
we
pod.
should
yeah.
we forget firing order as a
so
spinoff. We
hungry
should
right
just
now,
do
by the way. Oh my
snack.
God, just
we
that alone.
It's not snack break. It's just snack the pod.
Yeah, and I think it's cool because we could do like food stuff with literally absolutely.
This is a great
no-
eating table.
Yeah, just no sort of experience or
No.
credibility in the space or anything.
Oh, in the
Yeah.
food space, zero.
Yeah.
Look at Action Bronson. What other than eating? What experience is he? I guess he was a chef.
Oh, he was a chef.
chef.
He was
Oh,
a chef before he was a rapper.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, well. Anyway, that idea's out. So you guys are gonna. You got everyone's donk is what we're moving forward.
Yeah, let's do
That's
that.
my vote.
Okay, so we're re-looking at the list now. Do we feel good about top three? We have to order them still. But Rolls, shit car, and donk. These are the greatest cars
Yeah.
Hoonigan ever built.
Yeah.
So we're not thinking that maybe somebody had something else on their list.
100% because Shit Car is a very low budget car like Scumbug, but Shit Car did more for the brand than Scumbug did.
Yeah.
So it deserves its place on
Totally.
the list as being a shitty car.
Totally. Yeah, it's like there's so many different metrics to go by
Yeah.
too. Like, what's a great build? What moved the brand forward? What was the most fun to drive? But I guess if we're talking overall, then I'm pretty happy with that list.
All right, so now let's order them. Rank them
Rolls, Donk, Shit Car.
in that with
In that order.
Yeah,
Rolls, donk, shit car.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Rolls being number one.
Yeah.
yeah.
Shit car being number two.
No.
Rolls,
Rolls,
Donk.
Donk, Shit Car.
Okay, so Rolls being number one, donk being number two, shit car being number three.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
I don't think
Actually.
Shit Car could be higher on the list, but it deserves to be on the list. I mean, we
Yes.
built dozens of cars and it's
Yeah.
on the list, which is cool, but it was a shitty build.
I hate that. I agree. 'Cause I
It's-
thought this
it's-
would be more of a fight, but this is
Its
the problem.
brand stat is all the way out here, but every other stat on shit car is like,
Yeah, because the Rolls was like Soupy and the team flexing, building a crazy thing.
Yeah.
The Donk was like internal sentiment, great.
Yeah.
And then the Shit Car like put us on the map.
Yeah.
Like that's a good fucking, like it covers all spectrum.
Is there
Yeah.
anything missing?
Mm,
I'm gonna just throw a couple like cars out there that we didn't talk about. Knucklebuster Z36
always ugly.
always was ugly, but definitely was a car that got driven. A
my
bunch.
favorite to drive. If I had to do like
Oh,
a driving
1000%.
event, tomorrow, I would drive that thing.
That car ruled. It was cool. It was one of our first like big projects as a brand to do with a big paying partner to like do marketing, like
Yeah.
for the cylinder heads and stuff. I just it to me like the car never was styled well.
Mhm.
It wasn't ever like over the top cool,
Mhm.
but it was a cool car. Like Ron said, I mean, we went to that event in Atlantic City and
Dude.
put 6,000 laps on it.
Oh
It was
man,
so
that was a
fun.
great day.
that was good.
That was
Yeah,
a great,
great.
day.
Car rules. I mean,
else
driving an LS E36 drift car, fucking
The
awesome.
Lightning was always a shit box.
Oh,
They never, the
God.
The Lightning
suspension
looked
never-
cool, but
looked
sucked.
but the suspension never got
Um,
sorted. It was a cool idea.
What else? We built a couple really cool cars.
You know what's so funny? That's such a crazy build that we did, but the three of us were so disconnected from it. Warthog.
Yeah, I mean Warthog was cool, but it felt more like
That was full corporate.
it felt like white label, like
full
commission
corporate. I never
project.
drove it. I don't know if you guys
didn't-
ever
I
drove
did.
it.
I didn't like that build at all, except for the fab work. Like
Yeah,
I
the
would just
fab
look
work
at the
was-
fab
was
work and be like,
great.
damn, this is sick.
Amazing body work. The plexiglass molded shield, like the ammo boxes and everything. That was great, but super disconnected.
Yeah.
Colmaro. Next.
Go pick that up. It's at Jose shop.
Literally, out of all Hoonigan builds right now, we are closest to Colmaro
I forget
geographically.
I forget that I own Colmaro.
It's crazy.
I always say
You own it for the motor,
But
though.
I got it in the divorce. They didn't know what to do with it. And I took it. And by the
Divorced
way,
from the company,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
not his wife.
Yeah.
I said divorce on a YouTube episode with Vinny, where I also talked about Pornhub, and everybody was like, bro, I'm so sorry to hear about you and Ashley. I was like, wait, what did she post something?
literally everyone was like, damn, I didn't know Brian got divorced. Like, oh my
I was
God.
like, no, I meant the divorce from the company because it feels like that.
Yeah,
Like it feels like
yeah.
a divorce, like when you have kids, where like it's still going to be a part of my life. I mean, I'm sure there's Hoonigan something in the background, but like it always is there. I'm always going to be a part of it.
What else did we build?
All right, man, this is a good ranking. By the way, I do want to point out we have crossed the 2-hour mark.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Shit, we should start
boys.
wrapping it
We
up.
should start wrapping it up.
People are
Wrapping
gonna
it up, wrapping
people
it
are
up.
not gonna listen anymore.
All right, so this was like an okay launch for Firing Order, but the problem is we all have two similar tastes.
Yeah.
Like I feel
You
like
wanted
it-
a good fight.
I wanted a good fight, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, like we can fight over nuance, and nobody wants to listen.
No.
to that. Like we could fight over which way to like we could fight over different versions of BBS mesh wheels.
Yeah.
like just ranking meshies.
Even then, I think Vin and I would be aligned. You would be, although I don't know. No, we're
No,
not
it's
going
not
to get
gonna-
What's the
into
top
that.
one for you? Just real quick.
I
Top.
don't want to talk.
LMs?
It'd be an RS, man. It's
All right,
an OG.
yeah, RS is OG.
E8,
Yeah.
E8.
Yeah, I think
Sick, I love those
stylistically
too.
that looks
yeah.
better.
I mean, yeah. Stylistically, like EO7s are tight, but you know the RS.
But
is
that's
the
only
wheel.
because everybody did the shit
Yeah.
out of the E88.
yeah,
we're too similar. You guys won't be invited back for the show, but thanks for helping me pilot that part.
it's cool.
So the next one is Good Cop, Bad Cop. Good
Okay.
Cop, Bad Cop is a show that Vinny and I have talked about forever because the one thing Vinny and I don't agree on is what a good buy is in terms of cars.
Yeah,
We have
100%.
similar style. We
Yeah.
own. Realize Vinny has a 911. I have a 911. Vinny has a 360. I have a 360. Vinny has Ford trucks. I have Ford trucks.
So
We both have station wagons.
both have
wildly,
station wagons.
wildly different. From
We
each other.
both, but when
We both sort of have muscle cars. Like
Yeah. We have very, very similar groupings. Like our garages would look well, other than his is like clean. But when it comes to the nuance of which car would you start with is completely that. So I don't know if we've got enough time to do everyone, and you guys didn't. I wanted this to be a surprise. I wanted to be like, go in and pull up your saved cars on Marketplace.
But
Good
then
cop,
he
bad
found
cop.
out that me and Ron don't save cars
And then I
on
found out that
Marketplace.
you don't save on Marketplace, which is interesting.
No, I save parts, I think, mostly, but maybe I don't. Hold on, we'll see.
Is that because you're not as much of a Marketplace degenerate as I am? That like
No,
I'm
because
at 25 cars and still
I'm so beyond stupid that most of the cars that I'm into aren't even on Marketplace. It's on like Rally Cars for You or racecars.cz. Like it's so beyond unrealistic.
I don't save anything.
Okay.
The first okay, let's try this real quick. What's the first thing that pops up on Marketplace for you right now?
Bro,
Front page Marketplace.
this is how
What
good
does
the
it look
algo
like?
knows me. A Mitsubishi Mighty Max.
Oh wow.
All right, mine is mid-century chairs, a 911 turbo, and Volk TE37s.
Okay, so mine, for some really bizarre reason, I don't know why, a 1986 Pontiac F50. It's an F50 kitted Fiero.
Sick.
Not anything I've ever looked for. E92 M3 because I really miss mine.
me and Ron's
and
are
a
kinda
200
like
series.
Me and Ron's are kind of oddly similar.
By the way, I've always wanted a Mighty Max because I've always wanted to put a Mitsubishi Evo drivetrain in a Mighty Max.
Shut up and show us your depraved Marketplace.
Okay, this is like not planned. This is just sort of
Gotta
the
be a rep.
last three
Gotta be a
things.
rep.
This is the last three things I saved. So here's the game. I tell you what it is. I tell you what the price is. I show you the photos. You guys decide whether
It's
or not
gonna
it's
be
a
a bad
good
cop.
cop
Yeah, it's
or
all
gonna
a
be a
bad
bad
cop.
cop.
But go. Come on, show us.
And by the way, for those who don't know, the word cop like maybe
Means like to buy.
or
To
to
get.
get,
To pick it
yeah,
up.
a
Yeah.
cop, like a good cop. All right, saved items. Okay, this one might surprise you guys.
Which is funny, naming something after something that like Tri-State says and no one else.
Yeah. My whole life is naming things after like a 9-mile radius of Queens. Okay, so this one might be a little surprising to you guys because I'm not a big BMW guy, but I've always had a
Good cop.
super
Oh.
sweet spot for this.
You
We
have
have
no idea
here-
what this is.
We have here,
Can I guess?
yeah.
It's a 2002.
No, but
Oh,
that
okay.
is a BMW I like.
Okay.
My BMW list is pretty
That's
short. In
what I would've
2002,
guessed.
Round Lights is one.
Yeah.
8 Series is another one.
Okay.
But this is the other one, and this is a car that came out when I was in college, and I
Okay.
remember like going
Clown
to
shoe.
Oh, cool.
Clown Shoe, 2000, $32,000.
I just bid on one of these the other day.
Cosmo over Imola interior, 90,000 miles.
Too much money.
One of 13 in its configuration.
Of
Get outta
course.
here.
Yeah, it's fucking.
It's got all the other bullshit in here.
It's too much money. 32 grand's too much. I would say that's a good buy at like 25. Because it's an S52 car. So it's
why do you think that this car stopped going up in value? Because like I thought that this was going to be one of those cars that was going to bring a trailer at like 50, 60, but it just sort of stopped after.
So
many
after
variations
Fancy Alex
of
bought
so
one.
many variations of M3 exist.
So
many special variants.
Yeah. So I just saw one. I just bid on it the other day. It was red on red S54 powered car.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, fuck, this thing's going to go for like super expensive. I thought it was like $100,000 car. And I didn't do any research on it. And it was at like 32 grand with like 10 minutes to go. So I was like, damn, if I get this for 35 grand, I'm buying this thing. And it sold for like 44. But I thought the same thing. I was like, wow, I thought these go for like so much more money. And they haven't, but they're beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
They're like cool. But I don't know why. I think because they're like a weird hybrid. Like you said, like there's so many generations of M3. So that car has an E36 front end and like an E30 rear end. So I don't think they're the greatest like driving
But I think
car.
you might be looking into it a little bit too much too. Is that like values of a car? That clown shoe is a car guy's grail car, whereas there are so many other cars that are like more like up here car guy. And some of those guys that have a ton of money, they'll look at that and be like, oh, that looks weird.
But also, I guess they have gone up a lot because I almost bought a clown shoe in really good shape back when I lived in Santa Monica. It's like 2015, 16 for like $12,000.
I just feel
so
like
they were really
I feel like
cheap.
it became a forgotten car though. Because
Yeah.
when I was younger, I thought
agree.
like that's going to be a classic.
It is
They
a
break my
little
neck.
weird though.
They break my neck every time I see it. They're beautiful.
Yeah,
They're so cool.
Yeah.
But at the price, that would be a bad cop for you.
Yeah, that's like in today's market, I think like mid 20s for that car. I think but like
Also
for someone
not-
like you, it doesn't matter because you're gonna buy it and keep it until 600 years old.
Maintenance
Also,
records,
not a
receipts,
super unique
willing
color.
to trade for an air cooled Porsche. This dude is fucking Delulu.
Wow.
on the path. Of
Yeah, I'm
not-
sure you're willing.
Yeah.
All right. That was so bad cop, but like both you got a bad cop,
medium cop.
medium cop,
Yeah.
medium cop.
Okay, little price.
Yeah.
Good intention, a little bit too expensive.
Rough you up a little bit, protect your head on the way into
Yeah.
the patrol
Yeah,
car.
yeah, for
Gotcha.
sure.
All right, next up. 1990 Porsche 944. It's a manual, non-turbo,
Back up.
but it's a convertible.
Oh, worst cop.
Wait, they made that?
Yeah, that's kind of one of the
Terrible,
reasons why I
terrible
saved
cop.
it.
How much is it? Does it run?
It's $6,000 and it
Too much.
runs and drives.
Too much.
It's So okay,
Okay, here's the thing.
A clutch
Here's the
job
thing.
is going to cost as much as that car does.
That
it was
car,
posted a day ago.
if you buy it and drive it until it breaks down and you could afford to just leave it where it is and then sell it for whatever someone will give you at that moment, it'd probably be really cool to cruise.
Let me hit you with some stats here real quick.
Remember
Let me-
when we
let
were
me-
at Shoe Works and we just looked at the engine bay of one of those and we were
the
like,
yellow one.
they did what? Like, why? What did they do? Isn't that half of a
There was
V10 or
like-
something? Like, it's something just so dumb.
But you'll see like some new tech and something that looked like it came from World War II.
Yeah, and you're like, I
It's
don't.
a truck motor
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
It's a 3-liter 4-cylinder.
All right, let me run you through a couple of details here though. 124,000 miles, right? It's mostly been in a warehouse, driven occasionally for the past 6 years or so, and it has spent almost its entire life from the original. This guy is second owner.
Okay, let me.
Hold on.
Go.
Original owner has had it in Palm Springs since new. And yeah, the interior is a little rough.
There's
because of the
one
sun.
glaring item that stood out to me the second you turn your phone around, and this screams, "Don't buy this car."
Let me guess. Didn't clean it.
Has a flat tire. Like, you're telling me that you have maintenance records on this car, but your lazy ass couldn't put air in the tire for the photo? That
Yeah,
screams
that's
like
pretty
I
bad.
didn't take care of this car.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
such an easy thing.
Yeah.
Even if it has a leak, fill it up.
Yeah.
Just
Take
for the
a picture.
photo. They
Like,
didn't even clean it.
It looks
Yeah.
super uncared for,
Yeah.
and like I think if you buy a well kept 944 and you could like somehow keep it running, that's great. But I feel like buying a neglected one is like, oof, that's gonna be a bad time.
3 years ago, I would have never have thought about buying a convertible. But now, like without the farm, I kind of want a convertible just to cruise around.
Oh, you know, I tried to convince Vin this of the other day.
I was like an anti-convertible sports car guy.
Yeah. I think one of the best buys for a cruiser that you could do right now today is an E93. A convertible E92 M3.
Oh, yeah.
You get a sick motor, a car that rides really well. You get a drop top, and they're like 15 grand.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy how much car
for
you
a car
get.
that the motor is.
First,
like
when you
15
said
grand.
9, I just heard 9.3, and I'm like, bro, Saab 9.3. Saab 9.3 convertible.
Yeah.
I as I get older,
Red
I
on
think
BBSs.
They're really
I think
cool looking.
convertibles are cool. I just have one big problem with them.
Except for
which is
911 convertibles.
911 convertibles shouldn't
It's
exist.
a
No.
sin.
Yeah.
It's a sin. Put a
Looks
roof
like a
on it.
bath.
Also, I just hate the sun. Like my biggest nightmare is like in California is like sitting in traffic in a convertible. Like
Yeah.
just your skin would melt off.
I just
but
think-
my mom's got an E46
I rolled in
330
that thing.
convertible. Yeah.
Yeah.
And dude, it's so fun in New York because it's like cloudy and nice all the time.
Oh, that's
Put
cool.
the top down
Yeah,
and
yeah.
shit.
And the BBS boys have really like kind of put me onto convertible E46s.
Yo, E46, E36,
E30, yeah,
E4, E30 vert.
Yeah.
Kind
kinda
of
hard.
Pretty hard, yeah.
All right. This is the last one on my list of 3. I don't even remember saving this, but it's a 2008 Mitsubishi Lancer Evo MR.
Good car.
It's $4,500.
What?
Oh, God,
Evo
okay.
10?
Oh, this,
Eh.
Okay, but here's the thought.
Donate the 4G64 to Ron.
Or
for-
put in the
for
Mighty
a
Max.
backup.
Or put in the Mighty Max. But my thought was, and I don't know how bad the hit is, but
Why is this
No.
man showing us a total?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because I've always thought these would make, especially the MR, because the MR is
I
the
know. Camera car.
camera car.
Yeah.
I always thought this because it's got like the dual clutch
Yeah,
trans.
yeah.
Oh,
It would
just
make-
reignited
And you
this
could take
fire.
the whole. I could take the whole front end off and basically just tube out the front,
Yeah.
and then just make the whole thing look ugly as all hell. Basically, shark heart.
I
Basically,
really all-wheel
drive shark
I
heart.
always, one of my biggest regrets is not pushing for like getting an O2 WRX and all-wheel drive shark karting, something like that.
Yeah,
I think
and
that would've
basically
been a lot.
shark
It's a bad
cart.
cop. Aren't those like 10 grand complete?
Yeah, they're, yeah.
no
This
one
one's
wants.
$4,500.
No one wants Evo 10s. It's crazy.
That's why you could cut the body off and it's okay.
It's
Yeah.
so insane that like the Evo 10 is just never had
How
it.
quickly it lost its way.
Yeah. Although
One-
Quan across the
1
way
through 9.
says that he's like the Evo 10's the best car, the best Evo ever made.
Oh, as a daily driver, it's great. It's a lot
Yeah.
more comfortable, like a lot, but look at it. Just look at them. Sorry, Evo 10 owners.
Yeah.
I remember when-
I love it for you, but not for us.
Yeah.
I remember when it came out, like it was such a I remember like going to the press launch for it, and I was the biggest Evo 9 fan.
Yeah.
Like it was just like anytime it was available in the press fleet, I'd call Mo and be like, "Hey, can I get it? Can I borrow
Mhm.
it? Can I use it? Can I do this with it? Whatever." And when the 10 came out, I remember everyone on the press launch was just like, "What'd you do? Like,
Yeah. What happened?
what happened?"
Yeah.
They're like, "But look how much nicer the dash is."
The
We're like,
seats are
"We
cool."
made fun of it, but we didn't want you
Yeah.
to change everything else."
And I remember Mitsubishi was like, but it's a second faster around the same track with the same, versus a 9 RS. It's like, don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Don't
just
care.
didn't have the driving
Literally,
characteristic.
that was the beginning of like, but it's faster. And we're like, but we don't
No one
care.
cares.
So there's an argument. Is that the end of like? Does that car fit into driver's error for you guys?
The 10 or the 9?
The 10.
I think-
because it's technically in the late 2000s, but is that the?
No.
Is it?
I think it gets
Is
like
that
a
the cliff?
weird pass because it doesn't have that much tech. It's just like no one likes it.
I think it's the beginning of the wrong path.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
And that like heavy.
Even
Like-
the 08 STI hatch was the beginning of the wrong path of like numbing it down, making it more luxurious, making it more comfortable. It's
Yeah.
like people didn't buy
You like the
your
Evo
car.
because it was a shit box.
Yeah, they weren't cross shopping it with the M3 at the time. Like you get an M3 because you want something that's nice, flexy, great leather. You get an Evo 9 because it's raw.
Dude, I went back to back when I was younger. I had a STI and then a daily driver car. So I had a STI and then I had a E46 M3
Mhm.
and then I got an Evo and then I sold it and bought an Evo 9.
Mhm.
And it's like it was the hardest thing to decide because
Yeah.
you're like, all right, the STI is kind of crummy. I want a nicer car.
Mhm.
Got an E46 M3 and then you're like, I miss having that thing. And then you get
Just
an Evo
that
9 and you're like, well, the
punch.
Evo 9 kind of is a huge pile of shit too. But like they offer such a different experience.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, you're right. Like there's no blend.
Yeah.
Like there's no real like blend. I guess like stripping out an E46.
And they tried to blend it, and that's where it all goes wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
don't try to make a Lancer nice.
yeah,
You know,
come on,
embrace
don't
it.
make it for what it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, I don't know. You guys got anything else? We're only 9 minutes shy of.
Where is there a 9? Oh,
Yeah,
9 minutes
how are
shy.
you figuring that
9
out?
minutes shy of
That
of
clock
2.5
is the
hours.
craziest thing about
Bro, I'm
this
telling you,
podcast.
it's like secret code.
That's
that
the
I'm
Enigma
using
code.
the same like encryption that like won us the Second World War, so that you guys don't know
Do
how
we need
long
a-
you've been
do
here
we
for.
need a Navajo
Does
in
it
here?
feel, does it
It
feel
works.
like you've been here
Yeah.
for 2.5 hours?
I mean, my
No.
stomach says
You
that.
guys are
dude,
rolling.
I'm famished.
Hungry.
All right. I don't know. You guys got anything else? I mean, we could obviously go for hours, but I feel like
I'm only not saying something because I know it'll set off another like 2-hour tangent.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good
This was
stopping
fun, though.
point. I would love to come back and just explore any other topic.
Well, you guys
This has
are
been
you
great.
guys are always welcome
Yeah.
back
With food next time though. I need snacks.
No, I know, but then like you get everyone talking.
Yeah.
It becomes a mukbang. Like nobody wants that.
Yeah.
So-
Also, if there's snacks, I'd eat the whole time.
What's up?
Can I throw one out there?
Yeah.
All right. Of your top 3 ranking from firing order, each of you has to take one of those cars across the country. Who's driving what?
None. Literally taking nothing we ever built.
hold on. What was that list again?
So I think you had obviously Donk,
I think the rolls.
Rolls, Donk, and
The Rolls is a
Cross
full-blown
country?
race car.
Yeah.
Okay, so
fixed backs, like super. The Donk at least has like a bench seat.
Let me
Honestly,
let,
who
hold
even
on, let me
cares?
set this. So
Take
the
any
question.
of them. They're going to break down in Riverside. You're going to just take a flight.
let me just set,
None of them are making it out of LA.
Okay, so better. So, okay, so the question from Nick, our producer, was if we had to pick one of the cars in the top 3, which one would we drive cross country? If you had, like, you have to pick one. Which one would it be?
It'd probably-
and you all said none.
For me, it would be the Donk because we put air conditioning in it and it has like
That's
a
true.
big bench seat.
Yeah.
So it's probably most comfortable, but driving that thing would be like white knuckle 6,000. You'd be going 40 miles an hour the whole time.
You would be driving like a 60s movie.
Yeah.
Like there's so much steering involved. It just goes
it'd be
straight.
so
Okay,
scary.
so of all the cars we ever built, we have to leave right now. We got to be in New York in 4 days. Which car would you take?
So easy. So easy. The RS3 giveaway
yeah.
car.
That's a cheat.
I was going to say the C8.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, the
no,
C8,
no, no,
the
that's a
SEMA
cheat.
C8
That's a
build.
SEMA
SEMA
C8
C8 build,
Yep.
easy.
Nah, that's
No,
it.
no,
No,
SEMA
you didn't give us
C8.
any
That's not a
exclusive.
build.
SEMA
That's not a
C8.
Those were built. They were
Vin
on
and
our
I-
build channel.
Vin and I put that thing on. It's fucking nuts. The KW suspension was so early in the development on that we had to cut out the bump stops.
Yeah.
Yo, you guys ruined that car.
No,
I was actually just thinking about that the other day. That it was like the funniest, like weirdest flex, but we took this brand new Corvette with like 10 miles on
Yeah.
it to the track. Ron blew it up.
and
we
I happened to be in the car on the
But
event
then-
happening.
we just left it there. Just on the grass at Button Willow.
For
And people were like
2
texting
weeks.
me, were like, yo, is your Corvette here? And I'm like, yeah, we're going to pick it up soon.
Yeah, eventually.
You realize that
And
was
then you took it to the dealer, and Vin, with his never-ending charm, got us a warranty.
No,
motor.
the dude at the dealer was so cool. Because
Yeah.
I was like,
they,
you know,
they
we were
apparently
just,
warranted a bunch.
we
of
were just
shit.
driving on the freeway and whatever. And he was like, it looks like it was on the track. I was like, no. He was like, no, really, we don't give a shit. Like, it's a Corvette. It
Yeah.
shouldn't blow up regardless. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, we were tracking it.
You know, the funny thing about that car,
I thought I was going to die. in
that was
by
my
the way.
car.
I know.
It was my car. And then when the company sold, somebody, I won't name names, forgot to put that car on an owner's list. So it then became
the company.
it
car.
became Wheel Pro's car,
Yeah.
even though like it was given to me by Mobile One as like an influencer deal. And then like, and after that, I hated it so much that's why I was like, you
Yeah.
guys could just ruin it.
I think out of all the cars at Hoonigan ever, that's the one I had the most miles in. Because I used it as like a company car to go out and do the Gymkhana test with Travis and then track days.
For me, it
and
was
then daily driving.
it was the Ford F450. I drove the shit out of that thing
Oh,
because I
yeah.
was always towing him with it,
Yeah,
moving
that's
with
true.
it.
Yeah,
Like even
yeah,
after I
yeah.
left the company, I would
That's
still
funny.
borrow it to
Yeah.
like move my stuff out and all of that. The other one was the BRZ.
The BRZ was.
The BRZ was a good driver.
I
think
to
that
this
one
day
of the
is
best
one
builds we ever did was, TJ Hunt came out with Street Hunters body kit for it, and our team just did such a good job at installing the front lip with double-sided tape. And literally, Ron drove the car home and just ran over the front lip.
I was
first
on the
ever
605,
pre-pro lip,
and it start 1 of 1. They hand delivered it, and I start driving, and all of a sudden the car's like, and I just see splinters behind me on the 605 freeway, and I was like,
front lip installed with 0 hardware, just double-sided
no, 0
tape.
screws, 0 bolts, just 3M tape for an aero piece on the front of the car.
That shit was so sick.
All right, so I'm not going to cheat. I'm just going to take an actual build, not
Man,
something
this
that
is like what you would do in like a dream life.
of all the cars, the one I would drive cross country is Scumbug.
Oh God!
Here's why.
I could totally see that.
But
too.
we
And
drove-
he would just like enjoy it.
Yeah,
but
he
we
really
drove
would.
it 1,000 miles in Baja and it made it. So at least I know it would make it.
You would
Yeah,
get.
but I don't want to make it.
You would
I
get
want to
your-
drive something that's going to overheat and blow up, and then I get to
You would
take
get
a
your
plane.
shin sandblasted from road grit. You could see the road through the firewall in the footwell.
Yeah, sign me up. RS3 giveaway car.
Yeah,
Road trip in that thing cross country.
I road tripped that from Utah with you. You were in the whatever teal
Simpsons.
Audi
Simpsons Audi.
Audi 200.
Oh God! And
20
I was
valve,
dude. It was
turbo
so,
Quattro Avant.
It was
Put some
so
respect
hot.
on it.
And I was just like chilling in AC, bunch of power, just doing pulls and
Brian is like getting secondhand smoke from just like the cigarettes
Oh,
embedded
dude.
in the seat.
No,
but
it had a fuel
genuinely.
leak. It-
No,
it
not
had
only
an
that,
exhaust
no,
leak, too.
it had an exhaust leak, and the shifter
getting
boot was
dizzy.
missing, so
Yeah.
exhaust was going into the
I
cabin.
was getting dizzy at points.
And
And it was like 115.
we would pull
you
over.
have to be like high on fumes to think that thing's cool.
and we would get to the gas station, and Scotto would be like, "Oh God, I'm falling apart." I'm like, "Don't say, do you want to drive the RS3?" Don't say. I was like, "Do you want to drive the RS3, man?" He's like, "Nah, because like when you do get on it, you could hear the turbo like really good." And I'm like,
By the way, can I
Still.
say that a highlight for me, a highlight at Hoonigan was when we did a space race at TSS versus Hertz JZX, and I smoked him in that thing.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
he just didn't know that it was going to be fast.
Hertz
And-
Hertz never going to listen to this, but I hope that someone just clips that out and sends it to him.
yes, yeah.
And
Because he'll
then
be so annoyed.
But then he was annoyed. But then I did donuts in it, and he was like, "I didn't know this." He said to me, "I didn't know this could do
remember
cool
that.
things."
Yeah.
He's like, "I didn't know it could do cool things."
Yeah.
You guys drive anything cool today?
I mean, we had a whole conversation earlier about how you have to drive the cool car. It's California. There's no reason not to.
What'd you drive?
I drove my daily driver, Lancia Delta Integrale.
Is it really your daily? Because every time I see you on the daily,
often
bro,
do
you drive in the Lexus. I'm just saying.
All right, true.
I don't know. I think our
You do
crew.
drive it a lot.
I think our crew drives most of our fun cars pretty
Yeah.
much every day.
I drive it as much as humanly possible. I have a lot of seat time in it.
What'd you bring today?
I brought an oddball one that I think you'll like. I drove my dad's 1970 Chevelle, which I'm doing like a full rehab on.
This is one of my favorite builds that you're doing, just because it's such a like feel good.
Dude,
You're like a muscle car dude.
I
You
grew
fit
up
really well.
I grew up loving this car because it's what my dad's always wanted. I shipped it out to California a couple months ago, and I did not drive it a single mile because it looked so goofy. But now I redid the whole chassis, and it's like slammed with good fitment,
Yeah.
like wheel and tire package, and I've been driving it a ton.
Does
It's
it
so
make
sick.
you want to buy another muscle car?
No,
Really?
no.
I loved muscle car Vinny or muscle truck Vinny.
It's the space thing. If I had space for another car, I'd get another patina like muscle car just to fart around town, like driving to and
Yeah.
from the shop. Cool.
It's
But otherwise,
such
I
a-
like sports cars.
It's such a niche thing because a sports car, you'll cruise, you'll take to the
Yeah.
mountains, you could take to a track day, where this is like its only purpose is block cruising.
Yeah, like muscle cars to me are like I didn't even like being on the freeway on it, but like
Bro, you remember that freeway run you and I did?
yeah, dude, we must
Boy.
have probably did like
We were revving it out.
we probably did a 40 to 66 pull. It was like 13 seconds, but
It was sick. I mean, that one Ultima passed us, but like, yeah. And then the cop passed us too.
This is Power Tour?
No, this
it
is
was
on the
like it was
405.
going to get tacos.
yeah. C10 versus Nova pre Nova.
Pre big motor
Oh,
and the
wow,
Nova.
that's
When I
funny.
just had a beat up 454.
He had a
there.
454. I had a 468.
It
Combined,
was so
probably
much noise.
Yeah, combined, we probably made 400 wheel.
Rolling thunder, and
Yeah.
basically at the speed of like I don't know,
traffic.
Traffic,
Amazing.
yeah, pretty much. A lot of
Amazing.
noise though.
Yeah, 70 Chevelle though, man, it's so sick. I love muscle cars though. They're so
It's
cool.
it's cherry too.
Yeah.
Oh, boys. Well, hey, it's nice to have you guys on.
Great
Yeah.
to be here, man.
Yeah, good to chat. Now the next
Yapping
one
with the boys.
I feel like the next one though, it's like this was a memory lane one. I feel like next time we leave that all in the past. It's got to be like new shit.
You know what you owe
What do I
some
owe?
people from my audience is the pod we said we'd do about your CQ.
We could keep going right now. if
No,
you
I
want.
actually
You got
had to be
something?
home literally an hour ago.
Yeah.
And I told you that yesterday, and we started early,
my
and we
God.
still blew it.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up. Again, want to thank all of the partners. You guys didn't even know a bunch of partners.
Dude, congrats on getting partners.
Yeah. Heatwave is definitely one of them.
Heatwave does some really cool
FCP
stuff.
Euro.
Shout out FCP
Vyper.
boys.
I'm actually sitting on a Vyper chair right now. They're building. Next time you guys come, you won't have these crappy Eames,
Yeah.
Herman Miller Aeron chairs. You will be able to sit on a nice.
Oh, we have a Vyper chair. Well, it's Vin's Vyper chair in our shop.
Yeah, it's great.
Do you have the big butt?
no, maybe.
No, I got a
See, I
small.
got the
I got,
big-
I got a small butt though. It's the most
but
seat
it's-
time I have of anything.
Dude,
in the
I
shop.
don't even get up. Like most times, I will literally go from the toolbox to like the other side of the car. By just
We'll
pushing
have
myself around.
conversations, and I'm just
Yeah.
doing donuts in it.
The Viper
Nice.
chair is sick.
It's
They
so
gotta.
good.
I honestly think they need to start like putting shittier bearings in their wheels because they like roll too good.
Yeah, I've
You know?
noticed
Or
that you
like a
start
handbrake.
You just start kind of drifting away
Yeah.
while you're scrolling, and all of a sudden you're on the other side of the shop.
Dude, and
Like, what?
my garage isn't even. I have to like wheel chalk it because it like will just roll too much.
They're also like a great group of dudes.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
just like them. Like they're like they were fun when they went during the Hoonigan days, but even now, like when I talk to them, like they're just stoked.
Yeah.
It's like cool to like work with people.
I mean,
in
it's like
the
I said
industry that
about
are stoked.
FCP Euro. Is like I did my Mark II GTI build there, and I was like, it felt like being at old Hoonigan. I was like, it's just a group of like good dudes and girls, like hanging out, doing something they love, and like doing cool stuff. And like that is such a important part of it all, you know, because it's like I want to support companies that are just like people like me doing crap. You
Well,
know?
and
Like,
not only
that's
that,
so
but
sick.
I mean, FCP did facilitate the greatest trip that I feel
yeah.
the three of us ever had.
Oh
in
yeah,
our
Car
lives.
Cane Abroad.
Car Cane
yeah,
Abroad.
Car Cane Abroad. Was
Yeah. And then
killer.
Heatwave, I mean, Justin is
Oh my God.
Justin is living the life I thought I was gonna live.
Beast of a driver.
Hey, no, he's
Such a sick lineup.
has weird cars, which
Has
I like
weird
for
cars.
like about
but
him.
sick cars. He's got a
NASCAR.
Trans Am with a sequential.
Track days and old NASCAR.
Yeah.
Spec Miata.
Spec Miata.
Yeah.
Has a GT3 RS. Sick house.
Yeah.
Like he's just Justin rules.
Bro, and all he
Yeah.
does is like post videos of him trying to land RC planes in his pool. He has like an RC seaplane,
Yeah.
and he tries to
Yeah.
land it in
Yeah.
his pool.
His
It's
life
pretty
is
amazing.
goals.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's pretty sick. I knew
And we've
he-
known them since like the beginning, so it's
Yeah.
really cool.
And they've
And they-
always supported us. Yeah.
Yeah, and those dude, he pulled one of the coolest things that ever happened at this versus that, which he knew he was gonna lose. So we offered him cars, and instead of taking cars, he said Le Mans Star.
Star.
that was
Game
that was
changer.
epic.
Game
And like he
changer,
added an
yeah.
athletic element to it, and it was, and he clearly had practiced it, like because he was so smooth through the window.
Our
of that
reaction, I remember, it's like the universal ooh.
car. When he was like, "How about a Le Mans Star?" We were like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that was a good one."
How have we never thought about
Yeah, that like I was like kind of mad, like, "Oh, that was a good idea. Why didn't we think of that?" So,
insane.
We're just sitting
insane.
there dragging our knuckles.
and then
Yeah,
lastly,
good roundup of
Yeah.
partners.
yeah. Oh, and also lastly, Toyo Tires. Toyo has been giving me. I thought about this the other day. Toyo has been giving me tires for cars that don't run since I bought my Coupe Quattro.
That's
Oh,
honestly
They
Jeez.
gave me the
Oh,
first
jeez.
set of R888s, not R888Rs,
Yeah.
just R888s. Like they just came out,
this is when you
and
find
they
out
sent them to me, and they have been flat spotted for 20 some odd years.
That's
I
when
still have them.
This is when you find out that you've actually been their long-term tire tester. They're like, we need to see how long tires will take to dry rot in the wild.
Yeah.
with new tread, and you're
Oh
out there
my
doing
God.
product
in
testing
the
for them.
field flat spot
Yeah.
testing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
big shout out. I got on my trucks, my cars. Anyway.
Yeah, you've been Toyo forever. dude.
Yeah.
So, anyway, guys, thanks again, and I think it's time to cue the outro song.
The mailbox is full. The mailbox is full. The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Well, there it is, the long-awaited first episode of Very Vehicular. Thanks for listening, and if you want to listen to even more, that's right, we have more. You can check out our Patreon link. Also, big thanks to all the partners who made this happen. FCP Euro, Heatwave Visual, Toyo Tires, and a particular thanks to our presenting partner, Vyper Industrial. Those guys right now, super hard at work building our podcast chairs. I can't wait to sit in them. Hopefully by episode 3 or 4, we will be enjoying them. And you can go to their shop, check out their stools, their carts, their fans, all of their stuff made in America. They've got a lifetime warranty. They've got a money-back guarantee. They also have limited edition stuff. They support us. They support other creators in the automotive space. So go support them. Great group of guys, great company. And of course, I need to ask you to do all those things, like, subscribe, hit all the buttons that are going to make people continue to watch this, share this with your friends. Very Vehicular Podcast. And of course, without producer Nick, this wouldn't have happened. So thanks to you, bud. See you next time.